This is Kevin Conroy, and I am the goddamn Batman.
You've just jumped inside the pull bag. Join TFG1Mike and the rest of the comic crew here at the GCRN as they make their great escape into comics. From DC, Marvel, and Image to IDW, Boom Studios, and Zenescope, we have everything right here. We cover things like Transformers, He-Man, superheroes, TMNT, and Radiant Black. Yeah, we have all that and so much more. It's all inside the pull bag here on the Geekcast Radio Network. So, without further ado, it's time to talk about the comics we're reading right now, here inside the pull bag.
Pretty routine stuff for you, isn't it?
Sorry, third night in a row with no sleep.
Spoilers.
You and the Joker?
Ryder Rooney! I've never seen you laugh before. I don't think I like it. Cut it out! You're giving me the creeps!
You little fool.
Hello and welcome to The Pull Bag. This is episode 410. That's right, 410. I'm, of course, TFG1Mike. Joining me, as always at this point, are the Hales, Edward and Kendra. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, and we are here to wrap up our Sean Gordon Murphy universe coverage with, for now anyway, with Batman Curse of the White Knight.
Yes.
Oh, Lord. This comic. I know there are rumors of him doing a third chapter. I think he has said he's going to do a third chapter. But some of the rumors are like, oh, what if he goes Batman Beyond? And I'm like, as much as I would love that and love seeing Terry in this universe, I just don't think it would work because the MurphyVerse is too real life gritty is the best way I'm going to say it, I guess. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like Batman Beyond fits into this.
I don't know, man.
I'd paid good money to see Sean Murphy's take on Batman Beyond.
Yeah, that would be cool. I mean, I'm not saying he doesn't have a really good take on it or anything like that. I'm just saying, after reading this, I'm like, I don't know how that's going to fit.
Well, he made us go all the way back to the 1600s. I don't see why he couldn't go forward in time, too.
That's true. I mean, yikes, because holy crap. Yeah, 1600s. Oh boy, I had shades of Gates of Gotham there for a second. Because that's what this first reminded me of was Gates of Gotham, because they went back in time to the gates and all that and everything else, so.
Scott Snyder.
I went more towards Neil Gaiman 1602.
Oh, there is that. That's what.
No, the Gates of Gotham he was talking about. Snyder did.
Snyder and Higgins, and yeah. If you haven't read Gates of Gotham, it's the best Dick Grayson story ever. Ever.
I'll challenge that with Black Mirror.
I haven't read that yet, so I'll have to give that a try.
You're seriously missing a really good run of Scott Snyder and Dick Grayson, bro.
All right, Batman Curse of the White Knight. To get the creative out of the way, obviously Sean Murphy, writer and artist. Klaus Janson, artist for Von Fries. Matt Hollingsworth, colorist and world design is the letterer. Sean Murphy and Matt Hollingsworth did the cover art and original series covers. And then obviously Batman created by Bob Kane and Bill Finger. I don't like, and I don't know if, well, Curse is fairly new, so it isn't like it's 2014 or 2015, so it's fairly new. I don't like that they say Bob Kane with Bill Finger. It should be Bob Kane and Bill Finger.
Agreed.
Yeah, just like Siegel and Schuster for Superman.
Exactly.
You know, give the credit where the credit's due, man. I mean,
that's silly.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad that Finger is finally getting credit, but that just to me is just silly that they use with instead of and. Anyway, all right, Curse of the White Knight. Is this the first time you guys read this, or is this the second time you guys read this?
For Ed, I think it's the second time. For me, it's the first go-through.
So, Curse of the White Knight. Let me get your all's thoughts really quickly on the original series. I know we talked about Von Fries last week, but Because honestly, I don't remember the original. Like, I did it episode 331 and 332 in the podcast, but honestly, I've done so many comics since then, and it's been a couple of years. I don't even remember the first part of this series.
First part of the series was brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I read it on recommendation from Kendra, and she got it on recommendation from a buddy of hers, and it immediately became one of my top 5 Batman stories of all times.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and reread the first arc of White Knight, because I remember my buddies DJ and Dan and I covered it, but I don't remember anything past that.
It was really, I don't want to say it was an original concept, because there have been other stories in the Batverse that have touched on parts of it, but it was the first time that we get to see Batman being made basically the bad guy, and Joker being made the good guy who just had mental issues that needed to be addressed, not pounded into his face.
Right.
And it really shone a light on what was going on in Gotham in a way that hasn't been.
Yeah.
And Sean Murphy did it beautifully. Yeah. I mean, it was very compelling. I mean, it takes a lot to get me personally, into the Bat universe. Not the outskirts of it, because I'm a huge Harley Quinn fan. But for me to sit down and read an actual Batman story out of all of the Batman stories that are going on currently, it takes a lot to get me to want to read one. And this one I not only read, but was mad when there wasn't any more until Curse of the White Knight.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can see that, and I like that they obviously he's going, Sean's going to reference what happened, which is good, because, for those that don't remember, like me, it's like, oh yeah, that's right, Batman was the villain.
Right, and I don't even necessarily think me saying villain is a bad way to put it. It's not necessarily that he's the villain, it's just he could have done so much more. Rather than putting everything, and that's really where this one brings that to life, is he could have done more than just putting everything into Batman himself. He could have done more for Gotham, and that's a light that we don't often see shined on Bruce.
Yeah. So
and Sean shines it with million candlewatt power, you know what I'm saying? He's just like, look at what I have created.
Right.
So as they said, we start off in 1685 with Lord Wayne and Arkham, Laffy Arkham. Oh, Lord. This is cool. I love this. I think this is a really good, interesting way to start this next chapter. And, of course, Wayne doesn't believe in curses.
You figure as long as he's been Batman, he'd have been like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we're before Batman at this point.
Yeah, this is way before Batman.
Well, I know. I'm just saying.
Well, yeah.
You said Batman doesn't believe in curses. I'm like,
this
really?
brought up, like, shades of Princess Bride for me. The Dread Pirate Roberts. I was like, dang, all right. I'm here. What's up?
Yep.
It's evil.
I love the juxtaposition of Arkham Manor in 1685 and then Arkham Asylum today.
Right.
I think that is so cool. And the funny thing is, before I even saw that it was Arkham Manor, I thought that was Wayne Manor at first in the 1685 image. I was like, wait a minute, isn't that? No, it's not. Interesting.
A little bit of sleight of hand.
We get to Arkham Asylum today, and the Joker wants to go to his old cell, and apparently the entire prison has been cleared out.
Have to bring it up to code.
I think it's going to take a lot more than 15 minutes or however long he's in there to bring that place up to code.
Established in 1685.
Yeah, that's hundreds of years of
asbestos.
Yeah. Like, where's Peter Thomas in Forensic Files when you really need him?
Great.
So, Joker, and this is part of what I didn't remember from the first arc from White Knight, that Joker and Jack are the same person, and I like that. I think that's great. Don't get me wrong, I also enjoy and love the fact of the version of the Joker that doesn't have a name, that only uses alias, was whatever. But with Murphy using Jack Napier as a second personality, I think that's genius.
Yeah.
Well, it all shows his love of the Batman verse. You know, when you look at it in a bigger picture, because he's pulling from the animated series, but he's pulling from the Tim Burton films. Yep. So I'm just like, okay, Sean, you and I can just like hang out and like talk Batman for like the next 6 weeks, because you know it's obvious that you're a fan.
We get to Bruce, and there's a letter from Alfred, and now I have to say this is more of me and my vision problems than anything else. I do not know what this letter says when we get to the panel where his back is turned, because I can barely read it because it's white text on colored background, like, and it's in cursive, and I understand it, but like literally I don't know what that letter says to Bruce at all.
Let me be translator. So basically what the note says is that it's Alfred's way of saying that if Bruce is reading the note, that he has come to the fact that he cannot fight or grieve alone. That he is not a man who is an island unto himself, and that he has learned that he can take advantage of the support system that is around him with Barbara and Dick Grayson. And if he's reading that, then he's come to terms with that. And Alfred also lets him know that it's time, since he's come to terms with that he can actually be ready for what is underneath the floorboard at Alfred's bedside.
Right.
Translation over.
Yes, which is a giant box, a giant gold-looking box.
Dun, dun, dun.
Mm-hmm.
Mystery beneath the floorboards.
Yep. Hey, at least it's not buried in some weird subsection of the cave.
At least it's not a art.
Right?
Well, I mean, if it was, it would tell a lot of tales.
Right?
Yep. We get to what I assume is the hospital, or is that still the prison? Because they have, like, gurneys and stuff, so I don't know. So we get to the hospital, or wherever, and Jim is there, and Batman's there along with the warden, and they're talking about how the Joker broke in, or the warden let the Joker in to find his cell and everything else, and they talk about the Batman Devastation Fund, and I love the line between Batman and Gordon. He looks nervous. Think you can get something out of him before he lawyers up? Of course. It's Batman. Come on, Jim. This is Batman we're talking about. Yeah. And I so hear Conroy in my head.
Just a bit.
Just a bit, because as much as I love Keaton, the only time in this entire book that I heard Keaton is when eventually later he does the "Let's get nuts" line. We figure out that the warden does know and doesn't know that where the Joker is, and he tells him that he went to his old cell and then left. Wait, I'm not saying anything until I see my attorney. Too late. What do you think of the art, first of all, in these first scenes, Ed?
I adore all of Sean Murphy's art. I mean, it took me a second to get used to it in White Knight, but it's just so refined and so perfect for the character in Curse of the White Knight. I mean, the overall design of Batman, I just adore. I mean, the collar with the cape, and the cool utility belt with stuff actually hanging off of it. I mean, it's just cool as all get out. I mean, the artwork couldn't be better.
Yeah, the cape and collar just, I'm looking at where he says too late, and I now see the collar, and I'm like, that's cool, but it's also really weird. I like it. I don't dislike it, but it's really strange.
Well, I mean, it makes it so the cowl and the cape are actually two separate pieces.
True.
He can pop the cape off and not have to worry about it. He can take his mask off and still have his cape on,
Mm-hmm.
instead of having, the Batman hood, hanging off of his back,
True, yeah. Next, all you need is a couple of fangs. What do you think of the art so far, up to the point of the warden talking, Kendra?
I dig it. I mean, like I said, it already had notes of Princess Bride from us being in the 1600s, and the same art style was used in The White Knight, so I really like the world that they're creating, and I like the consistency, because it feels like you're just stepping right back into the same place, just at a different part in the story, which is exactly what we're doing.
Yep. Absolutely. So Gordon and Batman go to Joker's cell, and Batman pulls out a knife out of his utility belt there, which that's a little ingenious. He then basically cuts a hole in the wall, and a whole new section of this cell, secret passage. I love Gordon and Batman in this. Gordon's like, after you, thanks. I love that. I think that is so cool. And we get to this cell, and there was a message in blood, but somebody erased it. So that's a mystery we have to solve. Apparently there's a body buried there. Probably more than one, most likely.
Foreshadowing.
Of course. And we get to some lady going into Bruce Wayne's office, Ruth.
This lady. Woo! I don't mean to be vulgar, but this lady has balls.
Yes, she does. Because you don't just walk into that man's office.
Not with a thread on your tongue, my gosh.
Not really, and sadly, she doesn't even get the person she's going for. It's the damn Joker, and I love that he's wearing a Batman shirt.
It just adds so much to the character.
It really does.
Yeah, it really, really does.
I need that in plastic, 7 inches from McFarlane Toys, thank you.
I need to correct myself. She's walking into her own office, and the Joker is in her office, so she isn't walking. Okay, yeah, sorry. I'm screwy today, folks, apparently.
I mean, if you're going to do a review on something screwy, you might as well act the same.
There you go, I guess.
Art imitates life.
Mm-hmm. Now I have Batman 89 stuck in my head. Poor Alicia. Oh, boy. So we have that tense scene with the Joker and Ruth, and then we cut to Grayson wearing his Nightwing mask with a GCBD hat on, and he is part of the GTO. And he and Batman are arguing over the fact of there are too many consequences of Batman, unintended consequences of Batman, and about revealing himself to everybody and all of that. And I love the emotion between these two. And again, for me, I hear Kevin Conroy and I hear Lauren Lester arguing these points in my head because I'm like, that's my Batman and Robin. Or Nightwing, whatever you want to say.
Unfortunately, Kevin Conroy... Actually, it's not unfortunate, but Kevin Conroy has been the voice of Batman in my head since Batman the Animated Series debut back in the day.
Yep.
Strangely enough, though, Joker was not Mark Hamill in my head.
Really? Who is he?
I don't know. I don't really have an actor that becomes his voice when I read this. I mean, both Jack and Joker in this one have their own, like, personality in this one that doesn't match up, honestly, to any of the Jokers that we've met. Yeah. So, while Batman may be Kevin Conroy, Mark Hamill didn't make an appearance for me.
I think for me it's more of a combination of not all of them, but it's a combination of Hamill, Ledger, and Nicholson. It just depends on what he's saying and how he's saying it and how I hear it in my head.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Joaquin Phoenix thrown in for good measure.
Never saw it. Have no intention of seeing it.
You're actually missing out on a great film.
I don't know. Might see it in about 20 years if I'm still around then.
It's free.
Yeah, but HBO Max isn't free. I already had a free trial.
Oh.
Of course, I could set up a set. That's a whole other topic. We get a Batcave scene that I am not a fan of. It makes the cave look small.
It might just be one level of the cave. I mean, come on.
Maybe it is, and I'm glad the giant penny is there, and I'm glad that the dinosaur is there, but that's the wrong Batmobile.
Hey now, he's had all the Batmobiles in here.
He has, and he does, and he will. I'm just saying, for this shot with Nightwing and him arguing and all of that, you see the dinosaur, you see the giant penny. I expect the BTAS Batmobile, not the damn Tumbler. But that's just my own personal preference, you know.
It's okay. I think the Taz one shows back up later.
Oh, it does. Oh, yeah.
The Taz one or the Tim Burton one? One of the two showed up later.
It's the Burton one, because he says at one point or another that that's his favorite.
Well, yeah. It's a good Batmobile.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm not saying it isn't. It is a very good Batmobile. Just the Tumbler, I'd rather have the one from Batman and Robin.
Ew. It's like some sparkly vampire shit going on there, bro.
Mm-hmm. You should see, well, by now you guys have seen the description, because we're recording this in the future, folks, in the past or in the future or whatever. And,
Back in time.
That's right. I literally had to find a specific Freeze pun to put in the description for the Von Freeze episode.
Actually, I don't think that's the Tumbler.
It's one of them.
I'm sitting here looking at it, and it looks like something from another series, but I can't remember the name of it.
Okay, well, it's not 89 or TAS, so
yeah, this is
that's kind of the point.
This is an awesome scene, though. Him and Dick's argument is exactly what I was saying at the beginning, where, you know, this moment right here is where we see exactly what happened in White Knight come to fruition in this one. It takes a lot to unnerve Bruce Wayne, and we get that in one fell argument between him and Dick.
Yep.
Leave it to Grayson to be the only one that can actually unnerve Bruce.
Right? Well, I mean, I'm not even saying that Grayson's the one that he may be the active force that's doing it, but it's not the underlying cause.
No, the underlying cause is his own actions. Yeah, he's seeing the consequences of his own actions, and he specifically says, "It was my only job, and I failed."
Right.
Yeah. And now that I'm looking at...
The only reason I finally saw my mistakes was because my greatest enemy rubbed them in my face.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that would ever be uttered from Bruce Wayne's mouth when it comes to the Joker?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's very poignant. Good job, Sean Murphy.
Absolutely. And now that I'm looking at the scene again, where it's zoomed in on Comixology thanks to Guided View, the Batmobile that's below, like it's on the bottom part. Yeah. It's the most clear viewed one, but you see it from the back with the spoil. I'm like, hey, that's the upcoming The Batman. And then I see the TAS one just to the left of the dinosaur. So that is cool that it's there. I just don't like the Tumbler looking thing being
They've even got a homage to Adam West Batman with the bat boat in the background.
Yep.
Gonna run through with a giant bomb.
I'm pretty sure there's some bat shark repellent in there.
Probably. There usually is. I mean, after all, not all sharks are fake. So we get to the hospital, and we get to this guy, and you know, he's not doing so well. He's ignoring everybody. He's got some sort of headache. The orderly comes up. You're gonna have to put some clothes on. Don't touch me. And this is John Paul.
John Paul Valley.
Yeah, and he is hallucinating again, apparently. And he, I don't want to say jumps in the fire, but it looks like he's jumping into the candles there. Oh, boy.
He's having a little bit of a PTSD moment where,
yeah,
the sensory is just too much for him.
Yep.
He's trying to get away from all of these lights and sounds, and he doesn't want anybody to touch him because it heightens it. This is a beautiful way to show the PTSD that this man has.
Yeah, it is. It is a very, very cool moment. It is a very intense moment of how his hallucinations basically just make him lose all senses around him. And as someone who has suffered from certain things with my brain damage that I have and whatever else, I can tell you right now, 2 years ago I had, and I still have every now and then, the strongest sensitivity to light at times. And it's like, I just need to go into a dark space, turn on some light. I don't mean light like soft rock, but just light volume music or something, and just close my eyes and just be left alone because the light sensitivity will kill me, kind of thing. And this is a really great way to show that and how they're doing that. So we go back to the Batcave, and we do actually see the Tumbler, the 89, and the 66. So maybe the one that was up above in the other part of the cave wasn't the Tumbler, but it just looks Tumbler-like to me. Who knows? Maybe Sean will hear this and he'll shoot me a message on Instagram or Twitter saying, hey, it was this. And I'm like, oh, okay.
It is Sean Gordon Murphy's take on the Batmobile that he created himself.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for that. And I'm sorry, Sean, that I'm not particularly a fan of your take on the Batmobile. I don't know, it just doesn't... It's too Tumblr-ish for me. What are we thinking to this point? Because like I said, we get back to the cave and we have Bruce and Barbara.
Yeah, we're not necessarily at the Batcave at this point. We're actually at GTO headquarters. And
right.
It's... I was more sad about how quickly we transitioned away from Jean Paul, because I wanted to see more of what they were going to do at that point. Not just, oh, here's this quick introduction. We're just going to go with a quick glimpse, which in any kind of animated or TV series, movie, whatever, would be like 30 seconds to 45 seconds of screen time. I wanted more, like maybe a minute and a half.
Yeah. Just
to see what was going on. But I like that they introduced it so that if you know who that is, you're already prepared. Right. Like, even, spoilers outside, even if you've never heard anything about this, you go in and you see that name and it's like, boom, okay, I know where we are. Mm-hmm. But then here comes Bruce to the GTO to Barbara with this, this lovely story of the 1600s and how that's going to pertain to Gotham now.
Yep. And she's like, oh, like that old poem. I'm like, oh, Lord.
Convenience.
Of course. Solomon Grundy, born on a Monday. I do love that he brings up there was also a whip made from bat leather. I thought that was really cool. And I love the way Sean draws him when he says, I don't know what Joker has, but it goes all the way back to the founding of Gotham City. I love the way the entirety of Batman's looks here, with him holding his arm up with the cape around him as he's walking away from Barbara.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
It's just like an iconic, just Batman walking away image.
Mm-hmm. Very
There's
much
no sad
so.
walking away music, but we like it.
Yeah, no sad walking away music. The only way you could have sad walking away music is if, somebody dies. That doesn't happen yet, thankfully. We go to the church, and we see the priest along with John Paul, and he's, doing janitorial work. And then the avenging angel shows up. Oh, Lord. So what you were saying earlier, Kendra, that you wish you had more, I kind of like the little teaser of who he is and like that whole PTSD moment.
Yeah.
And then we cut to the GTO, because how the issue ends here with us going back further into what Valley is doing or what happens to him. And
I get it. I mean, coming back to it again and knowing who he's talking to at this current moment really gives me like this inner glee.
Yeah.
Because I'm really excited about the two people that are in this panel right now.
Yep.
But that's further in. But I mean, I get it. I know that they're trying to set it up to where, we have two of these stories going, and he didn't want to rush.
Yeah.
Because he had all of this time to set the stage, basically, and this is exactly what's happening.
Yeah, and as we end this first issue here, by slaying the demon, the man whose family has cursed Gotham, Bruce Wayne. Okay. Once again, I'm so glad.
Freaking artwork.
Yeah, the artwork is amazing. I am so glad I was not reading this in single issues, because I would be poor. Even though this is only 8 comics, I would be poor at the end of this, because it's like, holy crap. I actually wrote all of these down. I'll put them out now, because I don't want to forget them during each of the whole reviews here. I wrote down all the quotes at the beginning of each of the books.
Yeah.
If he was the good guy, what does that make me? It's not enough to kill Batman. We need you to become Batman. Just what Gotham needs, another colorful wacko. That is so a Bullock line. You and I chose this, and so did your father. We are ending our arrangement. You've become a liability. Here I was just worried this wouldn't be too easy. Or this would be too easy, I should say. In Gotham, no one is above the law, and God puts us on different paths, but we ended up in the same place, didn't we? Holy crap. Reading those and reading them as I read through the trade here, I'm like, way to set it up, like, way to tease it, and then where those quotes come into line as we go through. Wow. So
I like that. I like it. It's like just getting to see these lovely little snippets and captions, and then seeing them in all their grand, the way they're meant to be read. It's just wonderful. I mean, and he's done that so beautifully in both of these trades.
Yeah, I wonder if he actually sat down and wrote the quotes out before scripting the issue or anything like that. Because if it did, it was a beautiful way to encapsulate each issue. Excuse me.
What was the takeaway?
Yeah.
I wonder. Time will only tell, I guess, if we ever get an interview with him. But it's one of those things where, as you're talking about that, it's like I recently wrote up something last month about a friend of mine who had passed away. And the original podcast I had heard this friend on was called Better in the Dark. And because of when I found out about his death, it literally shocked me where I was not breathing for half a minute. I lost all breath because of reading the news of his death, and the name of his podcast was Better in the Dark. It was a movie podcast, and I ended the written tribute that I did to him by saying we were all better in the light for knowing this person. So going back to, did Sean write the quotes first and then do the story, or did he pull them out of the story to put them? Who knows? But I've done that before, where it's like I'll write something and then I'll pull it out, or I'll start a title and I'll have the title and then I'll somehow work it into the story.
Either way, it was all genius.
Absolutely. So we go back to 1685. That house is a fortress. How'd you get in without calling attention from the guard? Oh boy. I grew up in that house. Yeah, that house was built by one of the greatest families in all of London. But everyone knows they died in the plague, so that either makes you a liar or a bastard.
Or both.
Or a ghost.
You bastard.
Or all three. You bastard lying ghost.
Where's Scooby-Doo?
Rut-row.
Rooby-dooby-doo.
Mm-hmm. And the exchange between this guy who is Bakar and Edmund Wayne, this is really interesting to me, because it's like, holy crap.
Yeah.
One of those holy crap moments, because they kill the driver. Oh, good Lord. It's just so fun.
It
What
is
do you
a
guys
great
think?
way to introduce somebody.
I love those, the throwing stars at the oncoming horseman. I'm like, oh, crap, you did not just do that.
I'll ask that you never take the Lord's name in vain.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean,
what kind of star are you?
what an introduction. Like, what a way to say, hey, this is who I am. How are you?
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely.
And then we get more of your favorite stuff.
You mean the stuff I can't read? At least I can read it now. At least it's, printed on things that I can actually read, so there's that. I don't know, it was just a bad color choice for me, I think. It was, putting it in a white text on a multiple colored background. This is much like all he needs is an heir of a family who has legal claim to the valley, so they're going through Edmund's training to take over Gotham Valley or claim it as his own.
That's called a montage.
That's right.
He's got a montage.
This is really cool though, because you get to see, you not only get to meet, are we calling him Bakar?
Yeah.
We're gonna call him Bakar. You not only get to meet him, but you get to see that there's this plan that sounds like everything is on the up and up, and he's taking Edmund under his wing to show him, how to truly take care of himself, how to fight, how to handle himself in any inevitability. And then, all he needs is a Wayne.
Yep. And he finds one, obviously.
Right?
He needs a Wayne, not the Wayne.
Right?
Because if you want the Wayne, you got to make sure you bring Garth along too. So the montage ends here with Edmund looking at the map of Gotham Valley. Gotham Valley is all my family has left, so this is where we make our stand. We get back to the present, and Batman meets Ruth, or Bruce meets Ruth, but again, we're in this whole thing where everyone is going to know that Bruce is Batman because he wants to reveal himself. And I love their exchange because they are two very evenly matched people, I would say.
They really are.
Yeah.
Like, she stands her ground.
Oh yeah.
Like, you're trying to scare me. I'm not so easily shaken, Mr. Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
You have just as much to lose in this exchange as I do.
Yep.
And I love that. I love that she plays on Bruce's fears. She doesn't play on the fact that it's just Bruce that would be affected should he come out and say that Bruce Wayne is Batman. She plays on the fact that there's also, all of the employees who have worked for Wayne Enterprises and how they will be affected and their families will be affected. And then not only that, but she hits him right where it hurts. Yeah. She hits him right with Barbara and with Dick Grayson. And it's beautiful. Like, she plays her cards wonderfully.
But he also basically comes out and says he's Batman immediately with the one line. How about this instead? Give me a list of your clients and I won't throw you into Arkham. I mean, Bruce is he's not an officer of the law. He's Batman, and only Batman can throw people into Arkham. So, I mean, he pretty much comes right out to her and says that he's Batman with that line in my mind.
She comes right back at him. She's like,
right,
we're not doing anything that you can prove. And on top of that, he's like, oh, you're trying to blackmail me. No, I'm telling you the facts. And she does not, hesitate or tremor or back down. She's like, this is what'll happen.
Yeah.
And it's really nice to see somebody come against Bruce that way. That's strongly.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love how the next page, the next panel continues her threat. Or anyone else you've roped into your cause, and then we cut to the Gordon, and you all know I'm not a politician. I'm just a blue-collar kid who wanted to be an underpaid cop. And he admits that he hated Napier.
Yeah.
But he is going to run for mayor. I can see, you think of the two, outside of Alfred, because Alfred's different. You think of the two father figures in Batman and Spider-Man's lives, outside of Alfred and Uncle Ben, I think of, as much as Peter Parker, Spider-Man would hate for me saying this, J. Jonah Jameson and Jim Gordon.
Agreed.
I can see JJJ as mayor. I can't see Gordon as mayor because, like he just said, he ain't no politician.
I can't remember his name.
Who?
One of the guys that works with Peter.
You said J. Jonah Jameson, but there's another one that pops to my head, and I can't think of the character's name, and now it's making me, kind of angry. Because there's someone who actually works for the newspaper that's underneath J. Jonah Jameson that usually
Robbie.
runs.
Yeah,
yes.
Robbie. Yeah.
I would think of him more as the father figure than I would J. Jonah Jameson, just because of that's the person I would choose in that universe if I was going to choose a father. Because he genuinely cares about Peter.
Oh, no, yeah. I was just saying as far as the mayor part comparing, because, JJJ was mayor for a while, and I can't see Gordon being mayor. And Jack shows up, and he basically wreaks havoc here at his announcement, and he has a little. Yes, he is. He has a nose and mustache. My name's Jim Gordon, and I'm running for mayor. Not only am I an incompetent policeman who allowed Batman to run this city, I'm also a cheating husband and a terrible father. I'm too stupid to even notice that my daughter is actually Batgirl. Blah. I'm like, oh, you ass.
Random spear.
Goldberg appears out of nowhere.
Yep, pretty much. How was that?
But you get to see something really cool here, because with Gordon saying, he's being completely honest, which is a breath of fresh air for Gotham. He's saying, I hated Jack, and I hated seeing the people support him and rally behind him. Yep. But at the end of it, he was right. He was exactly right on what was going on in Gotham and what we need to change in order for Gotham to get rid of this cancerous virus that's been plaguing us for all of these years. And then here comes, Joker, who also hates Jack, and is like, no, I will not let you build anything on his name that is good. I'm here to destroy that. And not only am I going to destroy that, I'm going to destroy you.
Yep. It just puts so much into this. Yes?
I gotta go off of this panel here, because with the twin shot of, him holding Barbara where she's got her cap and gown on from graduation, and then her mask off, the only difference between the two of them is she parts her hair differently.
Yep.
I'm like, all right, so they legit just pulled a Superman on this to fool us. She can wear some glasses or something now. Be like, oh, I'm Barbara Gordon. I'm Superman. Like, all right. That's really cool. Know, man. It's kind of a nod to the older stuff, too, so.
Yeah, it's very cool.
But it also lets you know that he's not pulling, he's not pulling any punches in this anymore. It's all cards on the table, and he doesn't care where the chips are going to fall. It is all about chaos.
Yes.
And speaking of chaos, here comes Azrael.
Yup.
You mind pulling your sword out of my mahogany desk? She really loves that desk, doesn't she?
She really does.
Mahogany's expensive.
So they put together this team of Azrael and these other people, Michael and Gabriel and all of that, and
all of them named after angels.
Yep. And I love that Ruth says to him, this isn't the Middle Ages. You want Gotham back, then you'll have to do it in the 21st century. I'm your best bet. Just tell me what you need.
Even more than that, like you were saying about the captions, with this scene where we finally get that saying of it's not enough to kill Batman, we need you to become Batman.
Yep.
We get this foreground shot of a chessboard of all these pieces that are being placed, and it's just genius.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely it is.
It just goes to show Murphy's story structure, what he knows he wants in each panel, and I don't know, it makes it even more genius when you read through it again. So
absolutely.
Oh, and not only that, it's a perfect plan. I mean, you're not trying to just take down Batman, you're trying to create your own, so that way the public still have this, this figure that they can count on, but it's under their supervision and under their ruling versus somebody who's just this rogue agent that Bruce Wayne has been all these years.
Yeah. And then just as good as the argument was with Dick Grayson earlier, we get to Commissioner and Barbara, and I like that they're arguing, but it's an even better argument when Batman comes in, because you see this argument where Jim says, Joker was right. I spent years working alongside my own daughter, but I'd never noticed because of a silly leather mask. You're a hell of a detective, Jim. Batman comes in, turns on his heel. And you, all your talk of trust and turning over a new leaf. You said you'd reveal yourself to Gotham. When exactly were you planning to do that? You told me not to. Said that it would only complicate things. Well, I was wrong. I love this scene with the three of them because it is just so emotionally raw.
Right.
And it reminds me of Over the Edge from Batman the Animated Series, when they did this whole same thing about whether he should reveal himself or not, and the fact that Gordon eventually finds out and whatever. So cool.
Here's a kind of random question. I mean, this can't be really answered, but did she disguise her voice when she's Batgirl?
I don't think so.
I mean, because how many instances has Batgirl had a conversation with Commissioner Gordon and he's just kind of oblivious to the fact that it's his daughter, even though the hair color's the same, the facial structure's the same, her height and weight's the same.
Yeah.
Her hair's parted on a different side.
But if he saw her as Batgirl, though, he wouldn't see her hair, so he wouldn't notice. because Batgirl's cowl would cover up her hair, whether it was in a different style or not. So that would not have. I don't think that would have.
Look at the costume she has now. I mean, she's got the GTO body armor or whatever the hell it is, but then she's got two little ears sticking up through her hair, and then she's got basically a Robin Bolo mask going on. So I mean, it's not like she had a cape and cowl to disguise her face and head. Just like
but what I'm saying is, when Joker pointed out that all those years ago that she was Batgirl, means that this was before that time. So yes, Joker is revealing her as Batgirl from the GTO now, but Jim back then, before GTO, when she was just straight Batgirl with a cowl on, he wouldn't have noticed. But he would have noticed the voice. I don't know.
Well, I mean, there's things that you can't get rid of, though. I mean, I know this kind of stretches, further into the damn story than needs to go, but how do you get rid of your daughter's scent?
Sure.
I mean, I know my kids when they walk in the room, if I've got my eyes closed, because of the way they smell. Mm-hmm. It's not like saying they stink or anything like that, but each person has an individual scent, and I'm like, if you stand shoulder to shoulder to Batgirl, you're going to get a whiff of her shampoo,
Yeah, true. And we cut to a scene that I never thought I would ever see. Forgetting I'm the only one in Gotham you can't sneak up on. Babies, shoosh. And it's Batman and Harley. And he wants, her to appeal to Napier. Jack's gone. You don't know that. I can't go down this road again. My heart can't take it. Besides, I have other things to worry about. I wish I could see the look on Batman's face when he says this, but sadly we only see the reveal. I see his hand in the shadow, and I see the shadow of his face, but you don't actually see. You're pregnant? Right. World's greatest detective.
I love her sass so much.
Yeah, it is so good.
I mean, legitimately, she's one of the very few females in the Gothamite lineup that could actually get away with just being this big of a smartass.
Yeah.
to Batman.
This would be his anti-pensive face.
Holy shit.
Wide-eyed, mouth agape. You're like, oh, you're pregnant? Holy shit.
Yeah. And I'm glad the issue doesn't end there, but I think it could have.
Yeah.
I think it definitely could have. We get to Azrael and his other team members here as they are gearing up for whatever they're doing.
Well,
lovely full shot.
Yeah, I was going to say that full page shred of Azrael holding the M16. He looks so epically badass.
Yes, he does.
The red really stands out.
Yes, it does.
I love that.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be sneaky, but you're going to wear bright red.
Right.
And that's a continuing trope throughout this series because they say the same thing to Harley.
Yep.
We're supposed to be sticking to the shadows, but you're wearing bright red.
Not very conspicuous.
Well, maybe they're colorblind. Who knows? Shows up as dark gray.
Would be black and white colorblind, not blue and green colorblind, if it showed up as dark gray.
I was going to say, is this that blue and gold dress from Facebook that we're seeing about a year ago?
Oh,
or the shoe, the pink and green.
Why does this remind me of, what was that one thing? Yanni. Oh, God, Yanni and something else. I forget what it is anyway. So Azrael and his team are gearing up to go on their mission. We get back to the cave, and I can clearly see that it's the cave now, not GTO headquarters. And Batman is matching the maps, but the maps don't match.
What What the hell?
Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, in the beginning, Gotham had 2 suns. What the hell? Holy crap, Azrael on the back computer. That's not a good sign.
You've been hacked.
He's been hacked, but he's also been hatted.
Yep.
Because that's Jervis right there. Oh, man. This hurts. This really hurts me. The fact that Batman got hacked by Jervis friggin' Tetch and everything in the Batcave. Oh, the Batwing. Oh, it hurts.
I see even the animated series Batwing, too.
Yep.
Damn.
Damn, that hurts.
Very.
Yep.
It's gorgeous, though.
It is, but
there's one thing that can be said for Sean Murphy. He doesn't leave people and pieces just lying on the ground. He's going to use them. And the fact that he thought of using Jervis Tetch for this is brilliant.
It is absolutely brilliant. Because, again, you need somebody with tech savvy on the villain side, and
who better than Jervis Tetch?
Yeah. And, yeah, Batman pretty much has one vehicle left. And yeah,
the whole cave gets blown up.
Yep, it's gone.
Dino.
Right.
No more dinosaur. No more Penny. No more nothing.
No more Batcave.
Nope. No more Batcave. Whatever happened to the giant Penny? They let him keep it. Yeah, no more Batcave. Hell, no more Wayne Manor. Look at that last panel, but as the issue ends, holy crap!
Boom.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
They really need to. Oof. Yikes. So that's the second issue. Wow, this story ramped up quick.
Yeah.
We got the setup of where everybody is and what everybody's doing between what Joker and Harley are doing, even though obviously Harley's nowhere near him yet. With Batman versus Azrael, with Gordon and Barb, like, this second issue was jam-packed full of stuff.
Sean is not above spilling all the narrative on you real quick. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Gets a good little setup, and then he's just like, bam, you're in the middle of it. Let's go.
Well, yeah, that's the thing with this. The second issue is that you get all of the setup, all the narrative stuff done up until, you know, you show the back and forth between the hack and the Azrael and his agents getting ready to go to, you know, face off with Batman. Like, you know, I've set the charges in the mansion. Move out. You know, after that, we get all action scenes of Batman trying to save himself.
Right.
More than anything else. And then it just ends with that one shot with the the mansion and everything blowing up and the Jeep. I'm going to call it a Jeep. It's not a Jeep, but yeah. Holy crap.
Az truck. There we go.
Yeah.
It's an Az truck.
Issue 3, just what Gotham needs, another colorful wacko.
Right.
Oh man. Whew. That's a lot of blown up bat parts.
I love the sound effects.
Yeah, the sound effects are amazing.
What? It's a wet thud. What?
Yep. And we have Grayson and Gordon saving him. So
I got him.
You know,
get us out of here now.
Yep, on
We're
a
coming
GTO
up on
boat.
one of my favorite moments.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Which is that? Harvey?
Yep.
I
Because
laughed my
this is
ass
where
off.
I truly do hear the acting cast from the Taz.
Yep.
Because I hear Harvey Bullock
Yep.
in all of his glory.
Yep.
Bruce Wayne? You gotta be kidding me.
Yep. Yep. Especially with how he's drawn. He looks just like Harvey from BTAS.
Yes.
So yeah, absolutely. Oh man. It's just so interesting. So we get a boat to a helicopter rescue, and we get Bruce and Barbara as well as everybody else here. And Bruce says, I only caught a glimpse of him. Strange mask, red cloak, big sword. He used the Hatter to hack into the security system, and then he turned the entire Batcave against me. I was able to regain control of the Batmobile right before he detonated the entire mansion. How did he find you? I think he was sent by a woman named Ruth. And again, like we were saying, we have all this story stuff at the beginning of this. You know, we have the conclusion of the last issue with the action, and then we get right back into the dialogue and, you know, all of that. And apparently Ruth represents the elites, and they wanted him to cooperate by stopping the Napier initiative. I love the smug look on Dick's face. And you let her walk right out of your office? I had to. She knew about you and Barbara. I had no way of knowing what someone like that was capable of. And, you know, they need Batman, because that's the only way this is going to work. Or they need a Batman, at least.
Yeah.
And I love that, again, you know, we talked earlier about the PTSD moments for JP. With this, you know, at the end of this scene here, before Batman walks out, Barbara says to him, Bruce, you just lost your home. Shouldn't you take some time off so you don't... And then Harvey steps in, turn into a goddamn psycho and go off with the deep end like last year. And... I love this. Joker thinks he has all the cards. The only way to throw him off is to surprise him. And the sad thing is, what he wants to surprise him with almost has zero effect. But this page here has, this next panel here has what is easily my favorite Harley moment. I want to say ever, because it's just the way he writes her and the way that he writes her interacting with Batman is just so genius. It starts with her trying to put this crib or whatever together. If you need a screwdriver to build this thing, then they should put one in the goddamn box. Here, creepiest handyman ever. What do you want?
I remember you sending, when we first decided we were doing this,
Yep.
we were all settling in, you sent us this panel. Because you were like, this.
Yeah, she's not wrong. I mean, damn.
Well, I mean, one thing I really genuinely love between White Knight and Curse of White Knight is you see this relationship blossoming between Harley and Batman, and the fact that everybody else is walking on eggshells when they're talking to Batman, but Harley's just like, fuck you. Come here, you creepy bitch.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
I like this. I like the relationship that they make between her and not only Batman, but later Bruce Wayne. I mean, it's wonderful writing because she doesn't give him what he's expecting.
Yeah.
It's always the opposite, and it's wonderful to watch it because it creates this playful banter that is really enjoyable to read.
Yeah, playful banter as well as heartfelt banter, because it goes on to say, I thought a lot about you over the last year, how you turned the city against me. You know what the worst part about it was? Her reply, getting beat by a girl. It was losing my family. You're not a family, you're a bunch of weirdos in tights. When you're an orphan, you make family wherever you can find it. And then that just softens her completely. It basically melts her. Oh, I didn't know you were an orphan. No offense, but that kind of explains a lot.
In this moment, everything changed.
Yep.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, they're finally actually getting to see one another versus just things being said that don't necessarily mean anything and are entirely playful.
Right.
And in this, like you said, it turns into heartfelt banter because they're finally lowering those walls that they've had against each other for so long, with good reason.
Yeah. And again, this entire, like, This entire panel is just we just said, it turns into a little bit of banter, a little bit of fun, then it turns emotional. And he goes on to say, it's not a trick. Liar, you'd know if I was lying to you. Even if we got him back, who's to say he'll stay that way? I'm about to be a mom. It's not just about me anymore. I won't let him hurt you, Harley. I promise. And he takes the cowl off. I need you to trust me. Again, I'm glad the White Knight and Curse of the White Knight stuff is only 8 issues, but there are so many moments in each of these 3 issues so far where I'm like, okay, you could stop the book right there and go on to the 4th issue. And this is another one of those moments where she's left speechless after he takes the cowl off.
Right.
To get Harley speechless, that's a feat right there.
Yeah. And then we get what is probably the saddest scene. Not emotional, just sad and cruel, and oh my god. It just... Joker. Hate that guy. Where he says, patience, Batsy, this is just the setup, there's a lot you don't know. I heard Mark Hamill right there. What an interrogation scene, though.
Joker looks bored, though, through half of it.
He really does.
He's like, I'm just going to regale you with, shit I found and ruin your life with it, but... Anyways.
And then Bruce is like, Lafayette Arkham, and we get to see Joker speechless, which is kind of brilliant, too.
Yep.
Because he's like, well, shit.
Recovers fairly nicely, though. I mean, it doesn't take him for too long to recover.
Right.
If Joker won't cooperate, I know someone who will. Oh, this'll be good. And she addresses Jack, and Joker's like, oh, Lord, can't you take a hint? Again, I swear to God, I hear Mark, because it's over. It just, I hear him in my head.
This is really a fucked up scene, though.
It is.
Supremely, because this really solidifies for people who have watched the Harley Joker, even way before this. Yeah. This is him pulling out everything. There's nothing that is out of bounds in this scene. And for him to be like, okay, well, I suppose I could spare a few bucks. I mean, one of the brats is basically mine, but I'll have to abort Napier's. Batman, I don't suppose you have a utility belt that has, or your utility belt has a coat hanger. I'm just like, yeah, I'm in Harley's corner, you son of a bitch.
Yep.
And Harley says that a lot in this one, that she's not willing and she doesn't want to suffer anymore at the hands of this man. She needs that closure that Jack is fully and utterly gone in order to move on. And now that she has these two little ones, right, her role is shifting because it's no longer just about her. And I love that. I love the fact that not only is he creating his own canon while still pulling on previous canon, but he's doing so in a way that is still world building.
Yep. And the fact that only a pregnant lady could hold back Batman. I mean, come on.
You see there's more, and Bats is like, oh shit. when Harley goes, it's like, oh shit.
Yep.
He's like, damn.
Yeah.
But I mean, and that's the funny thing, it is 0 to fucking 180 really, really quickly, because she's like, oh no, I've heard worse. And then he's like, oh, okay, challenge accepted. And then suddenly it's like, oh, okay.
You son of a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
It's so hilarious, but it's not.
Yeah. It really is not hilarious at all, but it's a moment where, again, it's Batman, the Joker, and Harley, and it's the three of them and all of their personalities, and it's her stepping up for her. There are a lot of times where Harley can't or won't defend herself against the Joker in certain stories and certain depictions of the character because she just can't. She's like Joker says, victimhood is your superpower. There have been times in Harley's illustrious career in the comics and things where she hasn't been able to resist his charm and not stay with, like, here she's completely away from him. She wants to have her kids and be done with it. I'm sure deep down she wants Jack back because Jack is not the Joker. And again, that's why I love what Sean is doing here with the separate personality. The fact that it's almost like I kind of wish there isn't a microchip, but I kind of wish there was a microchip on Joker's neck because it would remind me of Batman Beyond Return of the Joker when he implanted a microchip on Tim Drake, and he became Tim when he needed to, and he became the Joker when he wanted to. And that's the way I see the Joker Jack thing here. But it's one of those things with this scene, again, like I said, only a pregnant Harley Quinn could hold back Batman and not have him basically pummel the Joker to hell and back.
Mom power.
Uh-huh. That's right.
Well, and I also like what you brought up where you were saying there were times where Harley Quinn wouldn't or couldn't step up to fight back against Joker. Yeah. And what Sean Murphy's version does is it gives us a different point of view to look back on those stories and be like, well, maybe this is why. Maybe... Right. That whole time she's been sitting here hoping and knowing not only who is inside of the Joker, but is afraid to leave because she feels like she would be letting Jack Napier down.
Yeah. So we get to the outside of Arkham, what I assume is Arkham here, because they're carting prisoners away. Sorry I wasn't able to help. Not even the shock of being a father was enough to reach him. I guess maybe Jack's gone for good. And Batman's like, I'm not so sure. And then poor Croc, he doesn't have a rock to throw at him.
Right. But this is another way to set stuff up because you're getting to see all of these, familiar faces of Gotham being let into these carriers to get them moved to a new location. And I like that because we're getting to see characters that will be making, definite reappearances.
Yeah, absolutely.
I actually like their version of Croc. I think he's cool.
And again, Batman and Harley's relationship here. I'm going to call it a relationship because it just is. She doubles over in pain. You okay? Yeah, just a false alarm. More common with twins, I guess. So is that all you need?
You're going to call it a relationship because she says, lead the way, Bay.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was getting to. You up for a walk? Lead the way, Bay. And I'm like, oh, he used that term. Oh, creeps me out. It's just not a term I recognize for relationships, but I find it funny the way she says it here. And then, of course, Batman has to deliver her children. And I don't know, I'm sure, obviously, Sean planned this, but they go to the cell and they go down into the secret, compartment here, and they find the other body. And if I'm remembering right, she gives birth in that cell, I want to say. Because there's...
Yeah, but that's a little bit further along.
That's further along, that's right, yeah. So they go down there, they find another body. We get back to Gordon and Montoya and Duke and Bullock and all of that. And I love that he can focus on this. He can take part of this issue and focus on the police part of it. I think that is super awesome that he does that.
I agree. I mean, I really like that Jim is not only stepping down, but he's saying to Montoya, he's like, if anybody's going to take over my home, it's you. And you have not only my backing, but you have the rest of the GCPD's backing.
Right. And honestly, out of the GCPD officers and detectives and things like that, she's the only one I could see being commissioner, because Bullock's too much of a... Go ahead, Ed. What were you going to say?
Bullock's an idiot. So just be for serial here.
Yeah, he is. I was going to say he's too much of a bulldozer. He's too much of a in-your... he's He's the least politically correct person in this entire.
I was about to say, he's a PR nightmare.
Yeah, he is. And then,
I mean, his little pink taco comment just legitimately sums up Bullock in like one small sentence. So,
pretty much, yeah.
Non-PC, doesn't give a shit.
And Gordon goes out and gets ready to leave, and I was hoping to run into you, Batman. Oh, this hurts.
Yeah, this one's hard.
Yeah.
This one's really hard.
I had to pause after this, because I was like, damn, man.
Yeah, that's not,
That's not Batman.
That's not Batman. We get back to Arkham, and, yep. Here goes Harley, here goes Dr. Batman. And again,
Second
with their...
favorite.
Yep. With their...
Give me the drugs!
With their relationship, yeah.
I love this scene so much.
Yeah, it is so good. I swear to God, I'll make you fight a pregnant woman.
Just his face is brilliant. His shit shock.
Yeah. It's like,
oh, what do I do now?
Yep. Oh shit, what are we gonna do now? Yep. Absolutely.
It's gonna give birth to babies.
Yeah.
And then they go right back. Back to pain.
And it is very painful. Jim can't even get his gun pulled out before, and everybody runs out, and we see Azrael holding him. Tell Barbara I love her, and I couldn't be more proud. That made me tear up, because holy crap, obviously the last thing he's going to say is about his daughter, because I don't think he's with his wife anymore. I don't think he's with
I don't think
Sarah.
that's I don't think
that's part of this universe. And honestly, I'm kind of glad, because it's one of those things where I have never understood why they named his wife Barbara and his daughter I only found that out in the Gail Simone Batgirl series, and I'm like, really? His wife's name Barbara? Ugh, that's a little weird.
Well, but it's the same thing as having the male Spawn take over the name of his dad before him.
True.
It's no different.
And, who are you? I am the devil. Azrael sent you. And holy crap. Oh boy.
Kills him.
Yeah.
Sword, man.
Even that's painful enough on its own, but then you get this lovely inset panel where you see not only Renee, Duke, and Harvey as the shock registers with each one of them.
Yeah, that is so good. Because the cigarette falls, and you see there, and then after Jim gets shot, they get shot. Or at least Harvey gets shot. Wow.
I'll be completely honest, I have never been the biggest fan of Harvey Bullock's character. But Sean makes it almost impossible not to at least have some kind of respect for Harvey in this series.
Absolutely. I think it depends on how he's played. I think for me, I loved him in BTAS. I thought that was a really good portrayal of the character. That's the main portrayal I remember. Because I'm sorry, Eckhart in '89 was not Harvey. No. It might have looked like a Harvey version, but it was not Harvey Bullock. We get to the 4th issue. You and I chose this, and so did your father.
Well, hold on. We got to pay homage to the fall.
To the fall?
Yeah.
Oh, man, it's so bloody.
Oof. I know, and I know it's painful, but we got to pay homage to it.
It was a tough scene to read the first read through, I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, That was pretty much exactly the same response we had, because we were like, all right, so not only have we lost Alfred, but now we've lost Jim Gordon.
Yeah.
I mean, when Sean promised that we as readers were going to see things that would have been done, or that haven't been done in this universe, he definitely delivered on that promise. Yeah. My God.
Yep.
I would never in my life have thought that I would have read a story where Azrael took out Jim Gordon, and this was so painful.
Painful, powerful, all of it. It's just one of those things where Sean's universe just does things that you would not normally see, and that is both a good and a bad thing. When I say good and bad, it's more of like we just said, oh, holy shit, that's horrible that happened. And it just leaves you with a feeling of, again, like I said earlier, if I was reading this single issue, I would be jumping out of my skin waiting for issue 4 the next month to find out what. I mean, obviously we know he killed Gordon.
Yeah.
But, to find out what is the where do they go from here kind of thing. And where we go from here is a flashback to when Barbara was little.
Yeah.
And, oh man, I am so glad that he put this in here. This is so good.
Yeah. The pain keeps coming.
Yeah.
Well, Sean just knows how to grab a hold of them heartstrings, and
he does, absolutely, yeah.
Does it with perfection in each and every time that he does it.
Yeah. And for half of a second, she isn't, but in the flashback where she's wearing her pink dress and yellow jacket, and then we get to the current scene where she's in the yellow shirt, for half a second I thought it was a yellow jacket, like she was a little girl. It's meant to foreshadow or whatever that, to look at the same, but it's like, oh man.
Kendra's over here getting teary-eyed.
I really am. Like, I'm trying to help myself over here.
Yeah, it's not. It's just crazy stuff going on here.
Well, because these are panels, and again, this is just a kudos to his writing style.
Mm-hmm.
These are panels that you want to look away from. You don't want to read them.
Because you know what happened, what just happened, like having to face a flashback as the first part of the next issue.
Right.
It's like, oh my God, you're gonna give me a heart attack over here.
Right. Like the one I think that hits the hardest is it's where she's like, "Bye, Dad, I love you."
Yep.
And then he's like, "Goodbye, Pumpkin."
Yep.
And you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because that's just, it's
such
just
a big baby. I thought you were going to be the one to cry first, and here I am.
I'm almost crying, but that's for other comics, not for this one. I'm glad you cried first in this one. That's the other series we review on this podcast. I haven't cried yet for Radiant Black, but if I do, you're gonna get it, Kyle. Yeah. And then we cut back to the GTO, and we see Barbara talking to Bullock and Montoya and Duke. They managed to escape with all three of you there. Barbara, we were just as upset as you were. He was murdered while you were getting drunk. Okay, 66, TAS, Tumblr, and then 89. Best Batmobile shot of the entire book.
I don't know, man. The one right before it is probably one of the more hard-hitting ones, where it's Bruce just as Batman holding Gordon.
Holding Gordon, yeah. No, but I'm saying, like, to see all the Batmobiles in the garage here, to actually see the difference between each of them, that's what I was saying about the Batmobiles as far as being because once he decides, oh, hey, I'm going to use 89 because that's what he uses later. So, we get to the more of the story here, where Barbara's like, why go after my dad? I thought they were only trying to kill Batman. Because of the Napier Initiative, if your father became mayor, he would have become a bigger threat to them. No, they killed him because of you, because of what you started. He believed in you. Oh, man. She goes off and... whew.
Right, my gosh, man. And, I mean, we get a really great one coming up with Renee Montoya because Grayson just wants to comfort Babs, and Renee's like, no, let her go. And he's like, who the hell put you in charge? And she's like, James goddamn Gordon did.
Yep.
And you just feel the pain from them. And I mean, it's this entire beginning is a beautiful, yes, it's painful, but you see just how much he meant to these people.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're trying to figure out what the next move is. And I love this scene. So it's Montoya, Dick, Duke, and Bullock along with Batman here. And Duke says, the way they flanked us outside the bar, the way they planted explosives at Wayne Manor, I smell ex-military. And Montoya's like, agreed, check this, check that. Bullock, go back and have another look at the crime scene and take Grayson with you. We're all targets now, so no one leaves this building alone. And that goes for you too, Batman. Seriously, did he just disappear before I finished speaking? God, that must have driven Gordon nuts.
Some great levity for, to end a really heartbreaking couple of pages, honestly.
Yeah. And we get Batman going to see Harley and the twins and Leslie Tompkins. Yay!
Dude, hold on a second.
What?
This middle panel here where he comes through the window and Harley's laying there in the bed unconscious and everything.
Uh-huh.
Notice that her hospital gown has her Harley symbol on the sleeve.
Yeah, the 3 diamonds.
I'm just like, damn, she's ready for everything.
Of course she is. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, that is very cool.
I mean, it's so simple, but a nice little, that's Harley in the bed nod.
Yep, and we have a really, really emotional scene here with Leslie going back and forth. She finds out that he's planning on telling the whole city, and he's like, there's something else. Gordon was killed tonight, and just him breaking down in her arms is just, we mentioned earlier about him as Batman with the mask off, hugging Gordon or laying over Gordon's body in the bed and all that. And now we have this scene, and it's like, Murphy.
Right? Like,
He grabbed a hold of her by his heartstrings and didn't let go for this one.
We have a nice little Grayson and Gordon moment here with Babs and Dick, and I understand her anger, and I think it's great that she's showing that here first, but I just hope that they can kind of come together at some point or another. And I love their exchange, and I love what Dick says to her as he goes to leave. He says, I'm not in the habit of defending him, but you're not being fair. You and I chose this, and so did your father. If you need me, you know where to find me. Goes back to looking for the truck, and she finds it on the security footage, and customized military vehicle from the 1970s. That's got to be it.
yeah.
And we cut back to Leslie and Bruce, and so Alfred finally told you about the journal. You knew. What do you think helped him get it? The two of you took it from the Joker? And I love this flashback. This is so good.
Yeah.
It's just one of those moments that is just so good. And I did not expect the guy to show up that shows up. And I didn't recognize him at first. I was like, not until he said his name, and I'm like, ooh.
Right.
Please tell me we're going to get a few demon moments here, please.
Right.
Because I would love to see Etrigan in Sean Murphy style.
I just want to see Etrigan, period.
Yeah.
Because I love him, man.
Gone, the form of man. Rise the demon Etrigan.
The fact that Jason Blood took the journal from the Joker, and I love Alfred, you'll find I don't respond well to warnings.
Right.
I am here to help you, Mr. Pennyworth. The journal is a gift for Bruce. As his guardian, I'll count on you to give it to him when you think he's ready. Leslie's like, Alfred, put that away.
Doesn't have to, because Jason Blood's like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gone.
I'm out.
He's out. He's gone. And it's just, again, it's a mystery of Gotham, and it's a mystery of the Waynes and the Bacars and all of that. So good. We have Barbara suiting up.
Go for the Punisher route.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, she's...
Look at my wreck of a lot of big-ass guns.
Yep.
This is it, though. This is where, even if I had any misgivings or any hatred in my heart towards Bullock left, this completely erases it.
Yeah. Yep. Atta girl, you drive. Yep. That line right there. And them
You
taking...
don't plan on arresting him? No, I don't.
Beautiful.
It is. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Yep. And I love, Batman, come in, Batgirl and Bullock are missing. What? Took the tumbler and turned off the GPS tracker. I assume you installed backup locators on all the Batmobiles without telling any of us.
Silence.
The one thing that I think in this line that Sean should have done, or the letterer or whomever. Okay, yes, have the question mark at where it says Batmobiles, and then without telling any of us should have been an exclamation point, because it really is more of an exclamation than a question, because let's face it, Batman doesn't tell them much most times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Batman and his secrets.
That's right. Here, take your pills. I don't need no pills. God will. Don't start that shit. You have two choices. Die on your ass from cancer or die on your feet like a soldier. So take them. Well, if that ain't some inspiring words.
Right? It's like, either die or die, whatever.
Yep. So the Batmobile is going after the military vehicle. The military vehicle is doing their own thing because JP's like, to hell with Ruth. She forgets whose valley this is. And, yeah. Barbara basically crashes the tumbler into the vehicle and it goes off into the river. Batman, worse.
And then we got Punisher Bab sitting there.
Yeah.
With four.
Yep. Barbara, what are you thinking? He's alive? Of course he's alive. He's Batman. What do you expect?
Right.
I mean, come on. And we get, getting Batman versus Azrael. And this is your destiny. This is your retribution. This is God's will. I know about
hesitance, though, man. And this is a moment where I lose a little bit of respect for Bruce Wayne Batman as a whole. Mm-hmm. Because he could have put a stop to what was getting ready to happen, and he didn't.
Harvey basically tells him, I said shoot him.
Right?
You know?
Like, he had time. He had time to do this, and he hesitates.
Well, okay, so you look at the scene where you see Azrael and you see Harvey and Batman in the background there. Batman is holding a gun. Harvey tells him to shoot him. You get closer up on them, you see the look in his eyes. You see the look in the frown on Batman's face, where you're right, he does hesitate. And that hesitation costs him, because Azrael grabs Barbara, and then Batman grabs him, and
Barbara gets her back broke.
Yep. Yeah, she does, doesn't she? Oh shit, I completely almost missed that this time. That's right. Ooh. Well, hello, bye Batgirl, hello Oracle.
Right?
Good Lord. You know, we have This Is God's Will, and we have Batman saying, I know about Edmund and Bakar, and I don't care what you think we took from you. The Waynes have always been the rightful protectors of Gotham, and always will be. I agree. What?
Right?
Yeah. It's like, wait a minute. What's he talking about? And Azrael's minions here wanting him to retreat, and
only one.
True.
Gabriel,
yep. And Grayson's like, Barbara, where's Barbara? Oh man, that last panel. Oh.
Yes.
Oh. I'm kind of glad it's not a full panel. It's just one little sliver. It's not a full splash page, because if we had a full splash page at the end of issue 4 of Batman holding Barbara like he held Todd, because that's what this reminds me of, is the Jason Todd scene.
Right.
I mean, it's like, holy crap.
But see, where the Jason Todd, here's my unpopular opinion, ladies and gents.
Lord.
Where the Jason Todd was not necessarily Bruce's fault. That was fully on the shoulders of Joker.
You're right. You're absolutely. Oh yeah, this is absolutely Bruce's fault. The fact that Barbara got her back broke. Absolutely it is her fault. It is his fault, I should say. Yeah, no. And you see that look on his face, because you see, you know, as these panels progress to the end, Barbara, where's Barbara? And you see him coming out of the fire with her, and you see the look on Bruce's face, and he knows.
Yeah, his eyes.
Yeah, his eyes are closed, and his teeth are gritted, and he doesn't have the mask on. He doesn't have the cowl on. You see that Batman is Bruce Wayne, and you see him holding Barbara Gordon. And yeah, it is absolutely his fault. And holy crap, these first 4 issues, wow. Just wow. I love that they let Sean Gordon Murphy do this universe. I love that he has these ideas that he gives us, and he gives us these various homages to things, but he tells a story that is not only funny at times with certain things, but basically just punches you right in the gut at every turn.
Yeah.
Every turn. And
yeah,
that's
as soon as you think you're safe, some randomness comes along and just hits you right back in the gut again.
Exactly. Absolutely.
And with so many tales being told at once, where he's got all of these different threads, there's all of this potential that something could go wrong. And in his case, it's not like that. It's exactly the opposite. Everything not only lines up, but it fits together perfectly.
It lines up and fits together and all of that, but it's one of those things where it lines up in such a ass backwards way that it makes so much sense of the way to tell the story.
Right.
And that's where we leave off with part 1 of this podcast, because holy crap, that was a lot.
That was just 4 issues.
That was just 4 issues, which means basically, oh my god, this is going to be the Pullbag's first ever 4-hour podcast. Holy crap.
Woohoo!
We'll be back after this, folks.
Because the world needs another movie podcast.
The Geekcast Radio Network presents for your listening pleasure the Cinema Geek.
Hosted by Amanda, Kevin, Matt, and Dan.
Each week we dive headfirst in the landscape of movies as we discuss movie news,
play movie games,
go in-depth on reviews,
and even have a top 10 countdown or two.
Also, don't miss our director retrospective series, where we review noted directors' movies film by film.
Bottom line is, if you love movies and love podcasts, you need to experience the Cinema Geeks.
You can find us on iTunes, Blog Talk Radio, or GeekCastRadio.com.
DeCian, the superhero webcomic. DeCian's got superhero antics and sexy girls. For action, comedy, mayhem, and more, read it now at DeCian.com. DASIEN.com.
Do you like retro cartoons? Then Saturday Morning Rewind is the podcast for you. Join them each month as they talk about classic cartoons and interview legendary voice actors like Jim Cummings.
I am the terror that flaps in the night.
Corey Burton.
Sometimes toys can be so flighty.
Rob Paulson.
Sure, Blaine, but how are we going to find chaps our size?
Nancy Cartwright and many more.
Eat my shorts.
So grab a bowl of Lucky Charms.
They're magically delicious.
Put on your hammer pants. Go to SaturdayMorningRewind.com. And be prepared to feel like a kid again. Once again, that's SaturdayMorningRewind.com. Saturday Morning Rewind was voted best podcast ever by its host, Tim Nidell. So it's gotta be good.
I am shocked and dismayed. Well, now you can't be both. You be shocked, I'll be dismayed.
Coming in 2016, Steve Megatron and myself, TFG1Mike, bring you a brand new TV review show. Welcome to Podcaster Meets World. That's right, we're launching a Boy and Girl Meets World review podcast here on the GCRN. It'll take us 70 episodes of the podcast to review all 158 episodes of Boy Meets World. After that, we will tackle Girl Meets World. You can find Podcaster Meets World on GeekCastRadio.com and iTunes starting late summer, early fall 2016. So come on and walk through the world with us.
I love the thing they call.
Kid?
Yes?
Shut up.
Beyond the Night is the GCRN's latest review podcast. We are covering everything in the Knight Rider television universe. From the classic 80s TV series to the 1991 reunion film, Team Knight Rider, and the 2008 relaunched series as well. So join TFG1Mike and Dion the Music Man as they go in-depth and Beyond the Night only on Geekcast Radio Network. You can find Beyond the Night in iTunes and on www.geekcastradio.com.
Kid?
Yes, Michael.
Just keep driving.
Ah, brave new world that has such putzes in it. You know, kids, a lot has changed while your old Uncle Joker's been away. New Gotham, new rules, even a new Batman.
It isn't 65 years in the future, but Legends of the Dark Knight has gone beyond. Batman beyond, that is.
The new boy. Ears are too long and I miss the cape, but not too shabby. Not too shabby at all.
Join Steve and Mike as they delve into the remaining episodes of the podcast, where they'll cover Batman Beyond, products, games, and more. Check it out only on GeekCastRadio.com.
And we're back. That was a long commercial break, folks. Wow. All right, so Batgirl is dead. It's Batman's fault.
No, she's not dead.
I know. I know she's not dead. We get into issue 5, and holy crap, that cover, that Joker cover, oh man, with the gun and the purple and the shirt, I'm like, oh my god.
Right. It's party.
Uh-huh. Yep. And we start with the funeral of Jim Gordon, of course.
Right back into the pain.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, and that's cool. That's good. I mean, leaving off on the imagery of Batgirl or Barbara's back being broken, going right into the funeral of her father. That's, yeah, but we're right back into the middle of things here.
Mm-hmm. We took a commercial break because we were so emotional, but we've got thrust right back into it.
Mm-hmm. That's what she said. So we have the overarching news coverage here during the funeral.
Beautiful, by the way.
Yes. And yeah, so the news lady person basically says, we've become so politically divided over Jack Napier and the events of last year, shouting with ever-increasing volume, calling each other names, and refusing to see ourselves as a family. We're living in a constant storm. And like the eye of a hurricane passing overhead, Jim Gordon's death has given us a moment of calm. Today, Gotham unites over the pain we're all feeling. But we're not just united in our sadness, we're united in our fear, because we all know the storm isn't over, and it's hard to imagine surviving without Jim Gordon.
Some of the best newscasting I've ever heard.
Most honest reporting I've ever heard outside of the local guy here in Oregon and Washington. Seriously, we have a news broadcast out here called The Story. It's on KGW8. It's with Dan Haggerty, and they basically do local news only on it, because around it they have like Lester Holt and all that and everything else, so they're like, yeah, we'll leave the national stuff to unless it's absolutely, like, obviously COVID, big national news, but most of the time the half-hour news program that he does is just specific local things, which is really cool.
Right.
And I can so hear this in Lauren Lester, and I'm going to say Tara Strong because I don't think... who was the original Batgirl voice in BTAS? Oh, God. Because it wasn't Tara originally. She took over the role. But anyway, yeah, I so hear Lauren Lester and Tara Strong. No sign of Bruce, because he's a coward.
Barbara already getting spiteful.
Well, she kind of has a right to, I would think. I mean, her father is dead.
Killed, and you get your back broken by the same dude, so...
Yeah.
That where to be found, because he was wrestling a pregnant chick.
As her water broke.
Right.
Oh, sorry, it's, I'm seeing the bat boat here, and he's underwater now, so I'm like, oh, hey, look.
Interesting segue.
It's metaphors, and he's going down to St. Dumas, this cross that's underwater, and... Interesting. We cut back to the GTO headquarters. Where the hell have you been? James Gordon died because of you, and you're too busy to attend the goddamn funeral? Bullock. Like, that's what I love about Bullock and Montoya is, obviously, she's always the one most of the time, with the exception of when she basically told Dick that she's his boss now because Jim made her the boss. But, like, between her and Bullock, it's like, she's the scalpel, and Bullock is the sledgehammer.
Actually, he's more a bulldozer than anything.
Well, true, but, I mean...
He's a wrecking ball.
Yeah. So what are you guys thinking so far in this one, Kendra?
I mean, for where we're at... Edward's showing me the pictures. For where we're at, I mean, it's emotional. It's emotion in every sense of the word, and it's something that's palpable that you can feel. Barbara has every right to be upset, as do the members of the GCPD. But, above and beyond Batman being there for Harley, Bruce is human, and a lot of people kind of forget that. He didn't think that he would be welcomed. And not only that, he thought that it would actually anger people. And that's something that's a true fear for some people. And he didn't feel like he thought it would cause more problems than it would solving things. So, I mean, I give him a pass. Should he have been there? Abso-fucking-lutely.
Yeah.
Should he be, attached to the cross for it? No.
Nah, not at all. And I love how Bullock's like, so how the hell do we move forward? And Batman's like, by focusing on the work. Well, duh.
Yeah.
Oh, holds up an ancient-ass floppy disk, too.
Yeah, that's definitely... Yep. And we get into the backstory of Edmund Wayne.
Jeez. It's a great mustache.
Yeah, there aren't many people that can pull off a good mustache.
Yeah.
Not too many of them.
My name is Indigo Montoya. I'm sorry. I know that that's not what they were pulling from, but I cannot look at this man without seeing it.
Yeah. You know, if you...
I have to watch Princess Bride.
You know, if you paint his face white and give him some green hair, Cesar Romero, hello.
Right.
That's also true. Maybe that was the homage they were like kind of like hinting at, but I got Princess Bride vibes, so
yeah, I don't know, because honestly, until recently, as a kid watching 66 in the 80s, I never noticed the fact that he still had the handlebar mustache underneath the makeup.
Right.
I never noticed it as an 8-year-old.
Because I'm a girl, but I always noticed. Because I could see the makeup like clumping around his hairs, and I was like, why? I always wondered why they didn't just shave him.
Because he refused to shave.
And I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was part of his whole look. And he was just like, no, I'll never shave.
Not that it ever took away from his characterization of the Joker, but it was just something that I noticed.
Joker was too lazy to shave.
It makes sense.
Yep.
Joker's like, fuck it, I'm gonna have a green mustache.
He's an agent of chaos, why not?
Right.
And I love how they're all talking and figuring out what's going on with the, you know, after we see the Edmund scene, like we cut back to the present and, you know, pretty wild theory. How can you be sure? Which is what Duke says, and Batman goes on to say, the narrow piece of land that separates the reservoir from Gotham City isn't a natural formation. And Bullock's like, I don't have the freaking patience for this. And I laughed so hard when Bullock says this. Land deals, religious cults, a vampire named Laffy. I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's very 78 Superman of them, isn't it? Land deals. Oh, Lex, you moron.
Not to mention wigs, Tories, and some underwater Scooby-Doo mystery from 60 Who Gives a Shit.
I love that we all turned into Bullock the first 4 issues without even knowing we were going to be.
So hilarious.
Yeah. And Dick goes on to say, Joker said something during the interrogation, Gotham is drowning in secrets. Is this what he meant? And Batman's like, yes. Wonder why he gave you that clue. The clue didn't come from the Joker. Batman goes off to
do Batman stuff.
Well, I mean, he technically already did the Batman stuff. The babies are born at this point, so I mean, he already did the deed. And I love how Murphy does the exchanges between Batman and Harley.
Yes.
It is so good. So interesting. And hey, look, she finally got those cribs built, too.
Well, she had those done when Batman did it. Creepiest handyman ever.
Right.
True. And he basically wants her to go, not necessarily alone, but he can't go to the Joker, because if he's there, that's what the Joker wants, is what he's saying to her. I love when she goes in here, where's Jack? Where is he, Jack? Where's Azrael? And the message written in blood, what did it say? Jesus, you again? I thought I made myself clear. Where is he? Batman's not coming. I just love how Harley is portrayed in this. It is so good.
Yes. Sean's portrayal of Harley throughout the entirety of White Knight and Curse of the White Knight has been probably my favorite iteration of her that I've actually ever read.
What the hell was
I won't go
that?
that far.
Uh-oh.
Don't get me wrong, I really do love what he's building with Harley, but I think that once his wife jumps on and they do the White Knight Presents Harley, that's where she really and truly shines.
Well, yeah. But that's all part of this.
It's still his universe.
I understand.
And I love the transformation, and I love basically her just saying, "Okay, goodbye. I love you." And
I will say this. This iteration of Harley, for these two, only really blossoms into my favorite when Katana Collins comes into play, and we get to see Harley in a different light, where it's expanded upon with her being the mom. I will say that this is probably the best representation of the Joker-Harley relationship that I have seen.
Yeah.
Where it has been explored in depth.
Yep.
It has been given a completely different point of view where it is a logical and understandable conclusion for their relationship.
Yeah. And again, it's because Sean is playing the Joker and Jack as two separate characters. It's not Jack Nicholson Napier, where he just puts on the makeup and he is still Napier and he is still the Joker. It's not that at all. These are two, like I said earlier in the episode, two distinct, different characters. And I think that's interesting that basically Jack is trapped in the Joker's, their two personalities are trapped in the same body.
I love, too, about the two different color eyes kind of representing the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
You see it predominantly with the Joker, obviously, because he's the one who's got the reins most of the time, but, when you see that, you're just like, oh, shit, oh, that's cool. Nice little nuance there,
Yeah. Yeah, it is very nuanced, and that's the interesting and good thing about this whole universe that Murphy is creating here, is that the nuances is where it gets you. We go back to the GCPD or GTO or whatever you want to call it. Before he died, Gordon put a round into Azrael. DNA from the blood just came back. Attaboy, Commish. Gotta love Harvey. You gotta love the lug. And the GCPD get info on who the Azrael and his compatriots are, so that's good. And
sorry, we're being attacked by a German Shepherd.
Oh, Lord.
Ace.
Good bad dog.
Now, see, you're not supposed to have your dogs on a podcast.
We had no choice.
So Jack comes out. So Duke says, reveals that John Paul Valley has cancer and it's terminal. We cut back to the prison. They're so beautiful. I'm so sorry I couldn't be there. It's okay. I had Batman. Batman delivered my children. Born exactly where the Joker was born, at Laffy's grave. Jesus, if that isn't dripping with irony. Maybe there really is a curse. That line right there. Batman delivered, that's one of those lines where it's like, which episode? Is it Mad Love? I think it's Mad Love.
Boring, lame, not funny. Been done. To Riddler. What? Harley? Oh, where the heck have you been? Oh, yeah. Batman, eh? Oh, you don't say. You have who tied up where?
I so hear Hamill in Batman delivered my children. Oh, God, it's so Hamill. And she's trying to have him concentrate on where Azrael is, and she's trying to learn where Azrael is and where, what the blood message says, and yeah, it's very, very emotional.
Great artwork, too. I mean, the panel with her and him standing at the bottom of the page with the sword bursting of flame is really, really beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, the tone changes.
Right.
Yeah, the tone totally the tone changes throughout almost the whole scene. Like, you have the start of the scene, like I said, with, them in the prison and whatever, and then as soon as he says flaming sword, whoosh, there we go. The entire thing changes. The colors change, everything changes. And, we also travel to where the, into Laffy's, or into the Joker's cell where Laffy was buried. What does it say? And he's like, I'll tell you, but you cannot tell Batman. What? Why? Because it will destroy him. Oh, Lord. Yeah. It's another one of those moments where, again, this issue could have ended and we could have picked up with Ruth and Azrael here. We're ending our arrangement. You've become a liability. Just the emotional tone of that last scene with Jack and Harley. Oh, it's so good. And I love how they will eventually, they haven't yet, but they will eventually say that it's Jack and Harleen. I think that is so good.
Yeah.
When they're not, their other personalities.
When they're Jack and Harleen, not Harley.
Yeah. And oh, look, we get a new Batman suit.
It's so pretty.
I guess the red was too much.
I mean, it's a badass suit, though. Nice play off of his Azrael armor from the original Batman Nightfall series.
Yep, absolutely. And
randomly Bane.
Yeah, quite literally randomly Bane. Like, I did not even realize that was going to happen. If you want
to break the bat, who are you really going to call in? Are you going to call in somebody who has no experience breaking the bat, or are you going to call in the one man who has?
Well, but the thing is, though, is in this universe, Bane never broke Batman.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, he's literally just a thug in this. Kind of literally was invisible until he, shoulder tackles somebody.
Yeah, exactly. Bane, plant, bomb.
Okay, but we all know what happened outside of this universe. So for me, it was a logical conclusion.
True. I mean, I guess, I don't know. I just feel like Bane is too much of a, I don't want to say...
Maybe they wanted to redshirt him. I mean, it's not like the man lasts long.
Yeah, no. Yeah. He really doesn't.
I mean, I'm gonna go out on a limb and be like a little bit of a Bane fan here for a second and say that he should have lasted a little bit longer than he did.
I forgot okay, so folks, I know this is a long podcast. We're almost into hour 3 at this point, most likely. But it's one of those hour 2, hour 3. It all blends together for me at this point. But it's one of those things where, quite literally, I have read all 8 of these issues. I have read this trade twice in the last month to prepare for this recording, and I completely forgot that Bane gets decapitated. Completely forgot about it. And I'm like, holy shit.
Right? Holy shit.
Yeah. That's,
Bane lasted a whopping 3 pages.
Yeah.
At least he got his one line in.
Right.
After I break you.
Yeah.
Break.
Yeah. Yeah. Break this. Break your head off with a sword is what it's gonna break, Bane. Yeah. Again, it just goes to show you that this universe, that the Sean's universe, I really don't want to compare Sean's universe to what I'm going to compare it to, but I have to because of the quote. Expect the unexpected. This is the big brother of Batman, essentially, because you never know what the hell is going to happen.
Batman Survivor Series.
What'd you say?
I said challenge accepted.
Yes.
Bane makes the quote, he's like, the exposed tube is a challenge to my enemies to come in close if they dare to cut it. Azrael's like, challenge accepted, and then lobs his head off.
Yup.
Alrighty then.
Alrighty then is right. And that's not... Ooh. And, you know, Azrael turns to her, or turns to... Who's he talking to?
Ruth.
He is talking to Ruth. I want a list of your clients, the names of every elite. For what for? You really have to ask. Really? You have to ask why he wants that list? Now listen, you rich people weep and wail because of the misery that is coming on you. Your wealth has rotted and moths have eaten your clothes. Your gold and silver are corroded. And that corrosion will eat your flesh like fire. Wait till I tell you. Wait, I'll tell you. I would hurry. What a interesting way to end that entire exchange, because yikes.
See Jean-Paul going off the deep end here. Actually, off the deep end last issue, but...
Yeah, I mean, he's continuing his descent.
Yeah, he's going spelunking.
Yes. And...
Cave of I'm a bad guy.
Okay, I want to say it's a Ferrari, but it looks like a Lamborghini to me.
It's a Porsche.
Is it a Porsche? God, yeah. I can't tell. I was trying to look at the emblem, but yes, Harley has a red Porsche. Did it work? You were right. Jack's alive, and he told me where Joker found Azrael, and she lies to him. You know, what about the message on the wall? He doesn't know. But Jack said he'll try to help us in other ways. How? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see.
Oh, actually, I think that's Bruce's car.
Is it?
Yeah,
really?
It's out of the driver's seat in the first panel.
Oh, that's... Yeah, okay. You're right. I didn't... Well, Hey, I wouldn't surprise me if Harley had a red Porsche. I mean, come on.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but she would have traded that up the minute she knew she was going to be a mom.
True.
Minivan
Harley. That's almost like seeing what is it? It's Optimus and Megatron WandaVision style or something. No, Megatron and Starscream, that's what it is. Megatron and Starscream WandaVision style. Oh Lord. And it's so weird to me that he's not in costume. And as they drive away, you don't have to trust him, Bats. Just trust me. And I'm like, damn. It's just so weird to have her call him that, and he's not in costume.
Well, notice also there's a guy in the guard booth that's dead.
Right?
Oh shit, I didn't notice that. Damn.
Sitting there
okay.
out of his face.
Yeah.
Of course, that's a perfect lead into the next page, so...
Yep, pretty much. Yeah, everybody's dying now.
Well, Azrael comes in there and, as Joker says, clears out the competition.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, we get Croc, we get, freaking Ivy, Two-Face, Mr. Freeze.
Ventriloquist.
Because it says Sutton.
Sutton?
Yeah.
Maybe.
On her I clocked that like 3 times. I was like, there's no way, dude.
Yeah, that's not
who
Ivy.
this little kid is.
Yeah, I want to know who the little girl is. I don't recognize her.
I think, and I could be wrong, I think that might be Baby Doll.
I didn't even think about that.
It's the only one I can think of that would be that small, that would be in prison for anything in Batman's world. I mean, Croc's here, Baby Doll's not far behind. Like we said, the ventriloquist, and I think Harvey's death hits me the most because basically just, that's creepy. That's just creepy. Basically slicing him down the middle of his face. Ooh.
Right. Split them in half.
Yeah.
Nice. I didn't notice that before on my first read.
What?
Joker's eye has actually got the Batman symbol inside of it.
That is neat.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah, one of them does. That's very cool. And he goes, clearing out the competition, I see. How'd you get past security? They let me walk right in. And why would they do that? Because I'm Batman.
I'm Batman, but I'm not really Batman.
No, I
have a giant flaming sword.
Yes. And I did not notice the cover to the next issue before. I did, but I didn't. That Azrael Bat is obviously looming over the city, but it's Bane with Bat, basically chokeholding our Batman. And I'm like, wait a minute, didn't Bane die in the last issue?
Right.
Like, I get it, it's a cool ass cover, but come on. That's crazy. Here, I was worried this would be too easy. And yeah, Arkham and their people, man. Say what you want to say about these criminals, about these super criminals, but they did not deserve this.
No, that's just a straight up bloodbath up in there, man.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
It looks like he killed everybody in the building just getting up the Joker. So,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, damn. See, Batman would have snuck in, done what he needed to do, and got the hell out, not, kill everybody in the building.
Yeah.
As bad.
Yep. I love Joker. A little surprised to see you helping, Jervis. No hard feelings about what happened last year with Clayface and What's-Her-Face? I just love that. So that's why you're here. Don't wait for us. We'll find our own little rabbit hole. Tell her Joker says hello. I think this should have been one of the lines, and I mean, as much as I love, and it's Sean's universe, and he can do what he wants, but I think the line that Joker says, where he goes, and that when you drink too much from the bottle marked poison, it's certain to disagree with you sooner or later. That's a really horrible, horrible line, but...
Don't you dare quote Lewis Carroll at me.
Yep.
That's why it's perfect. I'm sorry.
Exactly. That's why it is so perfect. Tell when you're lying, Harley. What are you talking about?
You're keeping something from me. Something, Jackson.
You don't trust me? I do trust you, so I'm hoping you have a good reason. Or maybe there's nothing and you're just being paranoid. Again, because she now knows, and because of what, he told her that he's an orphan, which he is. Because they have this relationship now, it's it's just so good. And he basically tosses her the keys and, go to the GTO, wait there until I arrive. But I want to go to the chapel with you.
I love it because they're sounding like a married couple already.
Yeah. Yeah. This whole thing, it is Jack and Harleen. It really is at the end of the day. But throughout this entire story, I'm like, I kind of want to see Bruce and Harleen get married at this point. I know that's so wrong, but it's just so cool. We get to the GCPD, or what's going on with them and whatever, and police found 2 bodies, so let them handle it. The GTO is more important. The first body is Bane. What? Someone took his head off. Oh my god. And the second body, Ruth Redford.
So we finally uncovered the elusive Ruth.
Yep. Doesn't Duke become a part of the Bat family at some point? Not in this universe, but in general. Isn't he in there somewhere as somebody? I forget.
I think so. I think he's the Signal, isn't he?
I don't remember. So they figure out that, Azrael has a list of her clients, the names and addresses of all the elites. See anyone we know? Oh, Jesus. And of course, it's gotta be Wow. It's got to be blood.
Right. Back to Jason Blood again.
Nope. I love the very, what I'd like to say is subtle styling of the background color between the two of them. It's basically just orange. I think that is cool.
It just adds a certain warmth, even though there's not a fire going in the fireplace.
I don't understand why he's got to, like, randomly be holding this cross, though. I don't know what that adds to the scene.
It looks like Bruce is, like, posed up on the top of a church steeple or something like that, holding on to the cross.
Like he's missing the gargoyles or something.
Right.
Yeah, like he
photos today or something, bro.
You got a little casting in you?
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the scene in Daredevil when Affleck is strapped to the cross above the church.
Yeah.
In the middle of the night from 2003 Daredevil.
It reminds me of those memes of, you know, how you always say everybody has that one friend.
Yep. Yeah.
Batman, the only one who poses on a gargoyle indoors.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
There's something on the wing.
There's something. I'm Batman.
I'm sorry. There should not be this much importance being put on one panel, but it just really strikes me as odd.
Yeah. Yeah.
This would be the question I have for Sean Murphy.
Okay.
When you were writing this scene, why is it so important that he's clutching the cross? Is it holding him up? Is it holding him steady? Is that why he has to do that? Because in 2 more panels, he's standing there quite normal.
I was going to say, did he drop in the room just before the panel started?
Right? Is that how he landed?
Landed on the cross.
How heavy is this cross?
Is the cross even real?
I don't know. You guys are asking a lot of questions that I don't have the answers for, and sadly, Mr. Murphy has not replied to my message yet, so we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully he listens to this. Hopefully he can make it through these 4 hours.
We have questions, Sean.
Yes.
They're important.
That's right. Because we need to know the answers to them, and we need to know now.
Why is Batman posed on a cross on a table?
Alright, moving on from the cross.
Why is it he has his own cross to bear looking like he's using it like a walking stick?
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. That would be okay. This is him literally showing you his cross to bear.
So we do get the
Oh God. The shit.
I'm proud I broke us in one panel.
Yeah, pretty much.
How would you feel if you walked in the room and found Bruce posing on the table with a cross?
I'd be throwing out some ones.
Be like, what in the fuck?
Yeah, I don't need to see a Batman strip show, thank you.
I already saw it.
In your head.
No, it was in comics.
That was
yeah.
Oh no.
Before they retracted.
The Bat Dawn.
Oh God, that's probably a book we'll never cover.
Sadness.
That hurts my head. Oh.
It actually hurt my head too to read that story.
All as I know, it was a very big deal at the time.
Oh yes, it was.
Alright, so Batman says to Jason that Edmund didn't want to share his inheritance, so he killed Bakar. Then flooded the valley and destroyed the village so he could rebuild his fortune. Is that what you think? I'm not proud of what my family did, but I can't undo 300 years of history, and I won't turn half of Gotham over to a maniac. There's more to the story than what's in the journal. Oh, Lord. Of course there is. And I find this... What really got me, and this is what I want to talk to Sean about, is how can you write a Batman story and make the Waynes not the Waynes? Like, that threw me for a loop.
Yeah.
That just
kind of took all the history of the Waynes and just kind of chucked it up.
He didn't chuck it out the window. He didn't chuck it out the window. He basically juggled it and dropped. He didn't drop the ball, but he dropped the balls on our heads to the point of, you think you know the Waynes? You don't know anything yet.
You know nothing.
You can't handle the truth.
Exactly. And we get more of the 1600s, and we get more of the story, and
more montage.
More montage, yep. Pretty much.
Badass swashbuckling scene, though.
Yeah. Yeah,
very much. Castlevania shit going on in there, too. They're
That's too bad.
Going after Laffy Arkham, so.
Yep. It's too bad that... It's too bad that Simon Belmont doesn't show up anywhere.
Right?
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody else has been here.
Oh, you get your shot on the next page, though.
Yes, this is one of my favorite.
Which is?
Sean
I know
Murphy's...
a thing about curses.
Oh, yep.
Let's just say I have experience with curses.
Yep.
And in the mirror.
No, it's a painting.
No,
is it a mirror?
Yeah. It's a clear mirror.
I never even thought about that. That's freaking sick.
Yeah, it is a mirror, because he holds his hand up to it. Yeah, it's a reflection.
Yep.
Yep.
Alright, so that scene became epically more badass.
Yeah, it did. Like, seriously, I was just waiting for the demon to come out. But at the same time, I'm glad he didn't, because, again, this image here is just enough subtlety to show you. Like, I don't think we need Etrigan in this. We don't need another monster in this story.
There's enough of those.
Yeah, I was going to say, we already got a great one with Jean-Paul Valley.
Yeah.
But what a great way to include him.
Absolutely it is, yeah.
I mean, not only do you make him this, like, you know, almost immortal being, and you have to give it a reason.
Yep.
But he gets this really cool place within the order because he's like, I'm the librarian, I'm the watcher, I'm the guardian.
Yep.
Loved it.
Yeah, so good. So Batman finds out what happened with Joker and Azrael. We find Harley, and they get into a marital spat.
She's pissed.
Uh-huh.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say she had plenty of rights to be yelling at his ass for it. So.
Yeah. Whereas before, with the whole Barbara and Gordon situation, he really didn't have like a full hand in that.
Whereas this he did because he brought her into this.
Exactly.
Yep. And the fact that she admits that she cares about him, that was just awesome. And then she goes on, maybe because I like leather masks, or maybe I got a thing for screwed up men.
Right? We all got our kinks. It's okay.
Uh-huh.
Got a thing about black leather.
Mm-hmm. And I love what he does in response. Like, seriously, it's almost out of the old. It's not old, but it's old at this point. There was an advertisement out of the CW Arrowverse, Flashverse, Berlantiverse, whatever you want to call the CW shows. There was a advertisement for one of the crossovers where it was a suit up advertisement, and I'm sure I'll put the audio in here somewhere so people can hear it and know what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah, this'll do. You guys ready? I was born ready, hoss.
Okay, let's suit up.
Hold up, hockey mask. Vibes is getting ready to get ready.
Sorry, I'm late. Getting back to work is hard work.
They say the suit makes the man, but in my case, the man also made the suit.
I prefer to keep it simple, unlike Harry Allen over here, who still needs a shave.
Wait, when you said suit up, you meant like right now? I'm hungry.
Yes, now. We've been suiting up for 20 minutes. I mean, am I the only one who suits up one leg at a time?
Well, yeah, it's a skirt, so I don't have to deal with legs and zippers and stuff like that.
Okay.
Everybody's got time for a suit-up, but nobody's got time to wait for the new guy to charge up.
Right. And they show everybody suiting up. They show Flash, they show Arrow, they show Supergirl. And at the very end of it, because at that point, Black Lightning was still its own thing. It was not in with the rest of them. Everybody leaves the locker room, and you hear Cress Williams' voice, well, what about me? And everybody was like, oh, what? Black Lightning is coming? So when I see, him throwing her the classic Harley suit and suit up, I'm like, oh, damn, you did not just do that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
The bat signal? No, Dick. What do you think it is? The penguin signal? Oh, Lord.
It's the Joker signal.
Uh-huh. It's coming from old Arkham. And I love that it isn't... Oh, wow. I kind of noticed, but I didn't notice. And now I'm wondering where Batman had her suit, because it is a classic Harley suit, but it's a Harley GTO suit. Like, they basically deputized her.
Right. I mean, it's pretty much her original costume, but then they gave her the GTO flak jacket to go over top of it.
Yeah. Very cool. And she warns Batman, and hey, look, smoke. Yay.
Azrael sitting up there in the rafters watching everything.
Yep.
That
suit, though, is badass.
Yes, it is.
Just that one panel of him jumping down onto the stairs with the cape flowing back behind. Oh, wow. Holy crap. That is a badass suit.
I love how it registered the flashbang that's getting thrown at him. Mm-hmm. It's like danger, and he's like, shit.
Yep. Yeah, that is awesome. I love how she's trying to reach Jack, and Joker's like, this isn't about Jack, it's about you and me. The only thing that was missing from him saying that before she says there is no you and me, Joker, and I think it's thrown in here somewhere later, but I really heard, this isn't about Jack, it's about you and me, Puddin'. I know that's generally what she calls him, but it just, I don't know, just felt kind of right. Oh, crap, he's... Like I said, I've read this twice. I should know all of this now, but going through it again, there are so many things I initially... Like, I saw it, like, I don't know... I noticed the art, and I noticed the colors and things, but there are certain things... I did not realize he has the baby strapped to the front of him.
Yeah!
What a monster.
Amen.
What a monster. But, hey, we get the Two-Face thing again with the two personalities, and I love that image. That is so cool. Like you mentioned earlier, Ed, about how he's got the bat thing in one eye.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Well, he's got fangs for some reason, too, so I don't know if he's turning into a vampire or what.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
I was like, man, alrighty then.
But Jack comes out long enough, and I think it's, let me see. It's not really that he has it looks like he has fangs, but it's because of the two. This is just the way I interpret it. It's because of the two personalities. Jack is human. Joker is not human. He is some sort of otherworldly personality thing, and the way his smile is different than Jack's. But at least Jack comes out long enough for him to give her the babies, and he tells her to run.
Right. You're a monster.
Uh-huh.
I love this moment, though. I really do. Between these two series, between White Knight and Curse of the White Knight, you get to see Joker and Jack in just this unseen way before and out. And you really honestly do, as, you know, even as somebody who personally doesn't like the character of the Joker, you really feel for Jack.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard not to.
Yeah. And again, the multiple personality thing, like, you know, I said earlier about how it just kind of sucks that we see how Harvey dies with being sliced in half from his face, the two halves of his face. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure there are plenty of really good Two-Face stories that aren't just a bunch of two puns, like, you know, robbing the 2nd Street Bank on the 2nd day of the 2nd month of the 22nd year or something.
There are.
But I love you, Harleen. Ha 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 ha. Like, again, the two personalities, and basically she has to kill him. You know, he won't let me pull the trigger. Harley, take the gun. And, you know, stop him. And then Joker, it's even though there's a little bit of Jack in here, when he's rushing towards her, that is clearly all Joker. And she has to put him down.
Well, and it reminds me, in a way, like, one of the things that it harkens to for me is the movie Identity.
Mm-hmm.
Where you have all of the personalities, that the whole reason for that therapy is they're trying to quelch everything until you get to the last remaining true personality. And it feels like that's exactly what would have happened between Jack and Joker. The stronger personality was always going to win out, and it's taken this long for Harley to see that.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, not that we can't root for Jack, I'm not saying that, but
yeah.
I mean, it's clear who's won this battle.
In this universe, I see Napier as not the villain, but not the greatest of men.
Correct.
I mean, the Joker is the villain out of the personalities. I mean, he just is. He always has been. So we get back to the Bazriel fight. And yeah, it's not going so well for Batman, apparently.
Oh. Well, he's got giant metal fists with claws on them, punching him in the face, so...
Not exactly the fairest of fights.
No, not really.
I assume that hurts like a bitch. So.
And I do love this scene, though, because, you know, Azrael's like, try harder. You're making this too easy. You're enjoying this? Admit it, we both are. You think we're the same? I've known men like you all my life, Bruce. Men whose hearts beat strongest, almost gunfire and clashing steel. Some were brothers in arms. The rest were at the end of my rifle, all killing for something greater than themselves. I don't kill. If you don't have the conviction to go all the way, then you'll never bring peace. And he's just yelling at him now. Batman's yelling at him. How does killing bring peace to Gotham? Why did Gordon have to die? You're not a knight fighting a holy war. You're a demon just like Bakar. And that's why you lost everything, because you dared to attack the Waynes.
But wait.
There's me.
Wait a minute. Didn't she kill him? Shit.
No, she just shot him.
Got a double tap. Roll one, man.
Always good. You should have gone for the head.
Yeah, 2 to the chest, 1 to the head. And I love this reveal, but it's just so ass backwards. You've got it all wrong, Batman. It wasn't Bakar who died next to Laffy, it was Edmund. What? With Arkham dead, Bakar's plan was almost complete. All he needed to do was eliminate Edmund and basically take his place. Oh, Lord. Oh, this just sucks.
Yeah.
That just... Oh, man.
But does it really matter?
I guess it doesn't, but I mean, it really is kind of funny.
I mean, it is. Don't get me wrong. I mean, yes, it's this shocking reveal that Bruce Wayne is not actually a descendant of the Waynes. But in the grand scheme of things, and there's a lovely thing that Harley's going to say here soon, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah. Oh, but just the whole realization of that is like, holy crap. And she does finally kill him.
A beautiful shot.
Yeah, that's some beautiful art right there.
That is a gorgeous shot.
Yeah. You won't do it. You don't have the... Blam. Yep. Absolutely. That, oh, so good.
And just a quick round table. Was there any pity felt?
Not for the Joker, no. But because Jack was also in there, and we see it's his face, not the Joker's face at the end here, I'd say there was a little bit of pity.
I'd say that I would follow that line. I would feel pity that he couldn't be saved, but bless Harley for knowing that it was time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, what an issue. And that's the... It's not even the end of this yet. I'm like, holy crap.
That's what I love about Sean Murphy, though, because with White Knight and with this one both, I mean, he just grabs you by the throat. As soon as you start reading it, doesn't let you go.
He really doesn't. He just there are many moments that we have wanted to look away, that it has felt like we needed to look away, that we were seeing something we were not meant to see, but he won't let us.
I mean, he lets you, he loosens the grip a little bit, but, you know, right back to it every damn issue, man. I'm just like, hey.
Yeah, pretty much. We open the next one with Alfred and Bruce is looking at the coat of armor, or he's looking at the swords and things. Man, this has been a long podcast, folks. Master Bruce, we're running late. Why aren't you dressed? It's my fault it happened. Nonsense. You couldn't have saved them. I don't want to gloss over this, but again, I feel that even though Sean does it a really great justice, I've heard the Wayne's death thing so many times at this point. I do love what he turns it into, though, when he says, and when we get back, I'll teach you how to use it. I'll teach you how to fight, so the next time you're in danger, you'll know what to do. So I do love that.
I like this. I mean, I like that in a couple of the issues that he's gone backwards to go forwards.
Mm-hmm.
And they've always been these heart-wrenching moments.
Yeah, and going forwards, we get Batman, Harley, and...
The babies.
Babies. Yep.
They're in the Batcave, but Harley's already got her robe there.
Right.
Of course she does.
She's moving in, bro.
All she needs now is a drawer.
I'm sure she's got one upstairs. Oh, wait, there's no manor.
Whoops. Yeah, that's the thing. Where are they? Because if the cave and the manor were blown up, he couldn't have rebuilt this fast. I mean, he's a billionaire, but...
Well, in regular universe Batman, he's actually got, like, multiple bat caves littered throughout the city.
Yeah, and him and Leslie have already discussed this. He's got several different strongholds.
That's true.
Safe houses,
yeah. Whatever. Same thing.
And they figure out, she tells him that she knew about the blood message and that she was keeping something from him. And Jack and she were worried about what the truth might do to him. I knew you'd eventually figure it out, and that there was nothing I could do to stop it except be there for you.
Yeah.
And this has got, like, I seriously need to send this panel to Kevin Conroy because I need to hear him say this. Joker's right. There is a curse in Gotham. Me. And of course, Harley being Harley, that's bullshit.
Yep.
And then again, you get to the point of where she says it doesn't matter. But it's such a great conversation between them because it's not just a back and forth. It's not just them yelling at each other. She does yell at him, but,
But it's a true conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's one of the things I do love about this version of Harley, is she really doesn't stop to have any kind of self-pity moments. She truly is very upfront, very no-nonsense, calls it like she sees it. So I do love that about her.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have this little panel here. I'll destroy everything. I'll have nothing left. You'll still have your friends. And she holds his hand. And I was like, aw, Harley, stop it. You'll still have me, Batsy. I'm like, oh, God, stop it. She doesn't say Batsy. He didn't write that, but I just added that in there. It just looks... I swear.
I don't know, man. I can't have Batsy on there because it takes...
No. I know.
How serious it is.
I know. But it's just one of those things where it's like... This whole, between him having to basically help her give birth and all this, it's like they're not an old married couple, but they are that quote-unquote old married couple in this entire story. They have a better relationship than she had with Jack.
I'd hope so.
Well, yeah.
He's a sociopath that beats the shit out of her.
True.
Intentionally.
Yeah.
He is a sociopath, and he has beat her ass a few times, but...
Yeah.
No, but they've gone through a lot together, and
yeah.
A pretty solid trust relationship that's built there.
Yeah.
They've been through the ringer together.
We're not to the moment where I go, aw, yet, so...
Oh, okay. We get back to Azrael, and
another wet thud.
Yeah.
What?
Pretty much, yeah. And then we get to Barbara working on walking again. That's cool. Awesome.
Wow.
I don't know. I don't know what to say because I figured Sean was just going to have her in the wheelchair for the rest of the story and eventually turn her into Oracle for whatever the next arc is going to be. But, hey, that's great that she's working on that. And, of course, Bruce apologizes.
Not for the reason she thinks.
True.
I like that these two came back together, though.
Yeah.
I like that it wasn't left off in a place of anger and resentment and rage. I like that there was this, you know what, respect.
Yeah. And he goes on to say to her, I can't fix Gotham's corruption because I'm part of that corruption. My family, my fortune, my cape and cowl. I need to come clean. Might be the only way to destroy the elites and give this city a new start. Bruce, you're scaring me. And, he thought coming clean was too dangerous, said it was safer for me to just disappear. Do you think he'd understand? Do you think he'd forgive me for what I have to do? Who? Your father. And we have another handhold here, and she goes on to tell him, you really frustrated him, Bruce, not because you broke the law, because you were proof that he couldn't fix Gotham by following the rules. So there's that.
Great dialogue between the two of them.
Absolutely. Yeah, This is some of the best Batman dialogue I've ever read.
They want to make a live-action film out of these series. I'm all for that.
I don't even want that. I don't think that they could really honestly do it the justice that an animated film could do.
Yeah. And I think it needs to be like a 12-part series, or a 16-part animated series. It does not need to be a contrived animated film version of it. It needs to be basically 16 episodes, HBO Max, whatever you want to do with it. But, you know, each comic book each issue needs to be, from White Knight and Von Freeze and Curse, all of it needs to be its own individual episode type thing.
Right.
Yeah, I'd be down for that. RP.
Yeah.
HBO.
Take my money.
Yep.
But I mean, I get it. Like, this is a supremely powerful scene, because while we definitely get to see the city of Gotham grieving through the eyes of the reporter at the beginning of this set.
Yep.
This is Bruce basically saying, you know, in these types of troubles, I would go to your dad.
Yeah.
And I can't go to him.
Yeah.
But I need to know what he would say. And the only person who can tell me that is you.
Yeah.
And she lays it out, honestly. She's like, you know what, you frustrated the hell out of my dad. But at the same time, he respected you.
Yep.
And he would have stood by and supported you no matter what your decision is.
Yep. And we have the whole scene of Bruce revealing himself to Gotham and to the world.
My God.
Oh my God. I can't even read through this whole thing. I'm just going to skip to the page where it's like, the truth is that Batman really is Bruce Wayne.
You can
Holy
hear
crap.
a gasp from the entire world in that scene.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it just... He goes
But
on to say...
It goes back to Gordon.
Yep.
Because Gordon said, that was one of the conversations that they had, was that hopefully one day the masks won't be needed.
Yep.
And here we are.
Yeah. But he does say, before I do take off the mask for ever, I need a favor. Azrael's still out there, and as soon as the sun goes down, he'll make his move.
Correct.
And what a move. Holy crap.
Right, I think that's one of my favorite parts of this, is that while he's doing this speech, he's like, let me be your Batman one more time. Put your trust in me to keep this city safe one last time.
Yep.
It's a damn beautiful moment. There's a lot of beautiful speeches.
Yeah, there is. And I absolutely love the panel where Batman says, we need to close down the airports, subways, and any road leading out of Gotham. Bullock on it. Keep an eye on every security camera throughout the city. What I love about this panel, you got Bullock and Duke in the GTO stuff. You got Montoya basically in a female commissioner's uniform. Batman, Nightwing, and Batgirl are all in uniform. Only gripe, Nightwing needs to be red.
New 52 didn't happen here.
I don't care. It can still happen.
This is Mike's I don't care.
Exactly. Should have happened.
Yeah, that's a testament, man. Like, that's a huge testament. Because if there's one thing that you could ask any fan of Batman, and it doesn't even have to be a submersive, you know, I've seen the DCAU, I've seen Batman Animated, I've seen Batman Beyond, I've read the comic. It doesn't have to be that deep. You ask anyone what their impression of Harvey Bullock is, it is that the man cannot stand Batman.
Yeah.
And yet here he is, at arms, ready to go.
Yep.
Extended Bat family.
Like, super huge applause.
Yep.
Beautiful.
And absolutely, yeah. I wish I
Except
actually...
the Red Knight.
Yeah, well, you know, we all can't have, you know. Exactly. Yeah, it is what it is, and I'm happy. Hey, I'm happy they're in uniform at all outside of the, because I'm sorry, the best GTO uniform in this entire series is Harley's, because it's mainly, like you guys said earlier, it's mainly her uniform with the GTO flak jacket on top of it.
I don't know, man. I kind of dig Duke.
Duke,
I know, it's his normal getup. I kind of dig it.
Yeah, no, Duke is fine because he's part of the GT, like, but the other super people or
super people,
whatever you want to call them, you know what I mean. And Montoya strolls up to Batman, and what'll you be doing? I'll be in the Batmobile. Azrael destroyed most of them when he attacked the GTO, so there's only one left. This one's always been my favorite. And of course, it's 89.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, that, wow.
That's a beautiful, if you're going to choose to do a spread.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love what Montoya says, though. She's like, Azrael's suit is state of the art, and nothing's decades old. Are you nuts? And Batman looks at her. Let's get nuts.
Let's get nuts.
Straight homage to the Tim Burton films.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And we get Nightwing read aside. Are you going to bring him in safely and let him serve his time, or do you have something else in mind? What are you saying? You know what I'm saying. That's what I thought. It's not worth it, Bruce. You won't be able to live with yourself. Batman doesn't kill. Batman's dead. And so is Azrael. Oh, God.
I mean, just the silent 3 panels on the next page of Dick and Barbara, and then Dick looking at Barbara, and then Dick walking over to his vehicle, like,
yep,
the whole world just changed for the two of them right there.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, it did.
Tone shift.
Yep, absolutely. And the sad thing is, when he said Batman's dead, all as I hear in my head is it, and this is so silly and stupid because this isn't what it is, but it's Terry from fuck. It's God damn it.
Batman Beyond?
Yeah, it's Batman Beyond, but it's is it The Call? It's
The Return of the Joker?
No. There's a line somewhere where it's him and the Justice. I think it is The Call. But he literally says in the Batman Beyond, Terry McGinnis, Will Friedle, Eric Matthews voice, he says Batman's dead. And it's something to do about I think it is The Call. I think it's The Call 2-parter, but anyway. Yeah, so 89 Mobile goes after Azrael. Man, what a scene this is.
I love the tonal shift with all the reds.
Yep, the reds, the oranges, yep.
And then splash page of Bruce standing in the middle of Gotham Square, just like,
yep,
let's go.
Yeah, he's standing there waiting for the message. He's waiting. They basically turned Gotham Square into a police dispatch unit kind of thing. And
how cool is that?
That is so cool. Right. So very cool. And there's nobody around. No, right. It's him. That's it. It's Batman with the Batmobile in the middle of Gotham Square. Nobody around.
Because the citizens trusted him. Like, that's such a huge, heavy moment.
Mm-hmm. If only Batman could have stopped COVID. Sorry.
My name is Bruce Wayne. I'm going to need y'all to social distance. Because, all right, we'll do it.
Yep.
Done.
And we have 3 really great shots of Batman and the Batmobile. On my way, he pulls the mask on, he jumps into the Batmobile, and then we get a full-on front shot of the Batmobile coming at you, and that's how this one ends. Yeah. Holy crap! After the issue before this, I wasn't sure how they were going to continue. Well, how Sean was going to continue the story, but he did, because we dealt with Joker and Jack and Harley and all that, and we still had to deal with Azrael because Azrael was still out there. And I'm like, oh, right. So they have to regroup and redo this and redo that, and there has to be one final battle.
Right. And that's where our next issue starts.
Yep, pretty much. And
great cover next issue, by the way, too.
Yes, it is.
That cover is just killer. I want to say that's almost as good as Bane breaking his back.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't essentially break his back here, but he's basically choking him out by his own cape, holding the sword, the flaming sword over him, and he's basically got him on his parents' grave. Oh, God.
Well, the funny thing, too, if you look at it, Batman's actually in the same pose that he was in when he got his back broken.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Azrael isn't breaking his back, but it is the same, type of pose, and it just, that's heart-wrenching. So the Batmobile comes up onto the freeway, and we see Azrael, and Azrael's on the rooftops, and of course, because they're the only ones out there, it's them and Batman, and Azrael's ahead of them, and Batman's like, I'm not staying behind the other cars. Whoosh! It's like, turbocharge, damn it, not this shit again.
He had a kill switch for the other cars.
Yep, of course he did.
Batman being Batman.
At this point, they should have known better.
Right.
Dick did know. Remote disruptor, I knew it. And it's because he doesn't want them stopping him. And I really thought he was going to go this far. I do love the chain guns, though, on the Batmobile. That was a nice nod.
Right.
Yeah.
See him one time in Batman 89, and it was a great scene in that, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, hold on a second, too. Plus, another thing is he fires a grappling line from his car.
Yep.
And wraps it around Azrael's foot to slam him into the damn ground while he's still in the car.
Yeah. Well,
that's so Batman.
Yeah, that's so Batman. How is that not so Batman? It's just the way that he rolls, and it's so good. So good. And then he just basically slams against the back of the car and whoosh.
Hits him with the afterburner.
Yep.
Nice try, Bruce.
That's a great shot, though. Like, seriously, that's a really awesome shot.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that is better than this shot of the afterburner of the Batmobile going up against Azrael Bat's face is in the Darwin Cook 75th anniversary Batman thing with Batman and Terry. It's Batman Beyond. And it's Friedel and Conroy as the voices, and they're going up against these Batman robots, and he says,
Batmobile! Ignition!
And it's like, holy shit, this is just as good, if not better than that. I love that thing. It doesn't work. And, Azrael has to get away, and then we see Batman with a gun, which is something I was not expecting.
Nobody's used to.
No. Even in the DCAU, the only reason why Batman had a gun at two different points, one was because Deadman took over his body And the other was Old Man Bruce as Batman Beyond. He couldn't do anything else except pick up the gun. Except he didn't obviously use it.
Yeah.
In that. But this is just brutal. I mean, it's just brutal.
Well, it's funny, too, because, I mean, Azrael calls him out on it. He's like, I thought Batman didn't kill. Isn't that what makes us different? Bruce doesn't answer. He just opens fire.
Yeah.
That's I think is great. I'm just like, he knows that this is it. This is the last one, you know?
Yep. This is...
Pull out all the stops.
Yep, pretty much. And, you know... Well, if you're no longer Batman and you're no longer a Wayne, then who are you? I am your reckoning. It's just so good. And I love that Batman says that the city will fight you even after I'm gone. There won't be a city left, not after the flood. Why do these people think floods are gonna solve problems?
I think that's the one thing Gotham hasn't been hit by. It's been hit by an earthquake. It's been hit by a plague. I mean, it got hit by, you know, the final night where everything was frozen because the sun went out.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time for a flood.
Maybe.
Call it Batman washed away.
Bruce, is that a gun? God damn it, what are you doing? This isn't you.
We're coming up to Mike's part.
My part? Which? Oh, yeah. Yep. The father part, yep.
Yo.
That's just so,
It is beautiful.
It is. It really, really is.
And you know what? Of all the Robins, I mean, and I mean this with the utmost respect to the others, of all of them, I really, truly think that only Grayson could have done this.
Oh, yeah. Only Dick could have talked him down off of the gun ledge. Absolutely. Because he says, you know, don't end it this way. Don't make me watch you. You've always been smart enough to see my flaws, Dick. Maybe that's why there's been a wedge between us, because we both know who the better man is. Now step aside and let me end this. Fine, but end it your way, not as Azrael, as Batman. And again, another piece of
quiet.
Yep, another piece of art that I want on my wall. Like I want to rip this off my screen and put it on my wall right now.
Yeah.
So good. So damn good.
Now we got your Burt Ward moment down here in the last panel.
Yeah.
Holy biblical flood, Batman.
Uh-huh. Of course.
I'm fully fine with that homage.
Right.
I didn't find it corny or cheesy at all.
I didn't either. I mean, it was legitimately just Sean Murphy pulling out all the stops and pulling all of his nerd card on the whole of it, you know?
The only way it would have been better is if it's somehow, you know, Holy Rusted Metal. But that's just me. I mean, I get it in the context of this, and I absolutely love it, because it's, like you said, obviously it's homaging Burt Ward and 66 and whatever else. But when Chris O'Donnell did it, I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like, I always reference Holy Rusted Metal.
Holy Rusted Metal, Batman, what?
What?
The metal
ground.
Oh,
it's metal hole, the full hole. Oh, right. Like, Clooney was easily the worst Batman.
Well, tied with Val Kilmer.
No. Val was a good Bruce. He wasn't a great Batman, but Clooney is easily the worst Batman and Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, he had no business being in that movie.
No. He should have stayed in the hospital where he belonged.
Right.
Yep. Oh my God, he's gonna flood Gotham.
Leslie and Harley talking to each other.
Yep. Oh God, so good. Let's see here. We are with Leslie and Harley. Don't worry, Bruce always finds a way. And Harley's like, I'm not worried about him beating Azrael. I'm worried what might cost him in order to do it. Ooh.
Well, I want to point out, too, that in the middle of all of this, you know, after the exchange with Grayson, and then we got the Azrael stealing the Coast Guard helicopter, and then we jump back to Harley, and Bruce has apparently come back to the house and pulled the swords off the wall.
Yep.
And then left again without saying anything to anybody.
The way he is.
I'm like, okay. He had to stop and save and get his good gear out so he can go do the boss fight. Oh shit. Here it is too. The panels on the next page, the 2 panels that are inset of him holding the watch.
Yep.
And talking to Von Freeze.
Yep.
So those are the 2 panels where Von Freeze fits in.
Right. Got it. Yep. Yeah, that is very cool. Oh, man. We get him going to the reservoir, and he turns the Batmobile into the Boatmobile. I mean, that is
just awesome.
Yeah, that is a cool design, except it reminds me of a Mask car.
Hey, now.
I do too, but so the Thunderhawk, there was I think it was called the Raven. It was basically a black version of the Thunderhawk, and what it could do is exactly how the Batmobile looks now as a boat, is the wheels turn up, and you see the wheels on the upside kind of thing. It's cool. I'm not saying it isn't cool. I'm just saying, hey, that kind of reminds me of that one Mask vehicle I used to have as a kid.
I had them too, so don't feel bad.
Yep. And Batman and Azrael face off.
And Batman wielding twin rapiers, by the way, and looking badass.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Absolutely. This battle, though, holy crap. He's ripping his armor off at this point.
Right? I mean, like, he takes his whole damn gauntlet off with a swipe of a damn rapier.
Yep.
I'm just like, dude, get some.
And I never thought that I would ever see, ever since I was 9 years old and I saw, because my favorite scene, one of my favorite scenes, but as a 9-year-old me's favorite scene in Batman was Shields. Never thought I would see them used this way. Holy crap. That's a little much, but holy.
Dude, it was perfect.
Right. Yeah, but wow.
Rips off his damn helmet. Love it.
Oh, holy crap. Azrael's like, your parents, who? Did they know they were swine draped in pearls, leeches feeding from the bloody tit of Gotham? Okay, only Sean Murphy and DC Black Label could get off of the line of the bloody tit of Gotham. Oh, my God. That's hilarious.
I slit his throat, too.
Right?
Yep. Pretty much, yeah, just to get him to shut up.
He doesn't take his head clean off. He makes a Pez dispenser out of him.
Deadly little Miho.
Ugh. Now I can never, ever look at Pez dispensers again the same way. That's creepy.
Right?
Yeah. And no, I won't let you die. And he, kind of saves him, sort of, but not really.
The effort was there.
Yeah, the effort was there. I mean, hey.
He tried, damn it.
Uh-huh.
If ever instant regret had a face.
Yeah, exactly. Fitting ending, though, to a story that feels like it's been going on for hundreds of years. Oh, wait, because it has. And again, I hear BTAS Harvey and obviously Kevin Conroy as Bruce Wayne and Harvey. Good luck, Cowlhead. detective. Like, and this is why I asked earlier about Duke. Duke, you'd have made a great Robin. Ha! That's why I asked earlier, is he some sort of Bat family member in any other continuity? Because, I mean, seriously, I thought he was at one point or another.
Like I said, I think he's the Signal. I mean, I don't have my phone in front of me to look it up, but I'm pretty sure that he was the Signal, the only Bat family member with superpowers.
Oh, interesting. I'll have to look it up later. And we get into the van, and Harley, what are you doing? You know what I'm doing, Bats. I just lost Jack. I'm not losing you, too. Young love. Somebody get me a wedding chapel already.
Right.
Where's Elvis when you really need him? You don't want to do this. Think of your kids. Think of your future together. No, I can't. I can't be alone. You're not alone. You're just feeling lost. Believe me, I know the difference. So where is your Harley moment, Kendra? Is it up here?
Oh, it's coming.
Okay. Yeah, Duke. Nice uniform.
Everything is fine.
Uh-huh.
I love how sternly Bruce says that.
Yeah, exactly.
The heart on the hand.
Yep.
And the window.
That's my all.
Yeah.
Because it happens again.
Yeah. This is the first time it happens, but it actually happens again in the next series.
Okay.
So pinhole this one, because...
Very cool.
We'll come back to that in the next series.
Yes.
Yep.
But this is a very cute, very loving, touching moment.
Yeah, it is.
I'm completely fine with this. I will ship Harley and Batman.
I never did until this whole series, but I mean, it's there.
I didn't either. And now I'm just like, why didn't I think of this before? This is great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sean Murphy.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we end on kind of a cliffhanger.
A little bit.
A little bit. Montoya needed someone to keep an eye on me, someone who knows my tricks and can stop me from escaping, so I had her track you down. No cell can hold you, Bruce. We both know that. You really expect me to believe that you intend on staying here? There's got to be another reason. You're right, there is.
Want to talk?
Yep.
And it's Officer Todd.
Yep.
Jason Todd.
Yep. Because, holy crap.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, obviously, we covering this still have to cover Harley. But, I mean, whatever Sean has planned for the third installment of the White Knight series, I am here for.
Right?
Yeah.
Because it is just so damn good. Overall, I love this. I thought it was a fun story. Like I said earlier in the episode of the podcast, it reminded me so much of Gates of Gotham with the back and forth, with the going back in time, with the olden days story meeting up with the story of today. I didn't say this earlier, I think, but I love how they figured out the map, and they figured out, what the differences were in the map, that the old map might have been wrong, kind of thing.
Right.
I loved all of that. I thought that was great. There are some variant covers in the back of the trade. It's all character covers. I think they're all done by Sean and Matt. One is Azrael, one is Batman, one is Gordon, one is Alfred, one is Batgirl, and one is Edmund. The other is Harley. And the final one is Jack as Joker, and I love those character covers. They are so cool.
Yeah, they are.
That Harley cover is just amazing.
Yeah, it is. I even love at the very end of the trade the black and white image of the Von Fries cover. That is so cool.
Yeah.
Right. Just all of it. I mean, even the character sketches and.
Yep.
I mean, it's love this man's work.
Yeah. This story.
My system.
Yeah, absolutely. This story was so good. It really was.
Yes, it was. It's funny because I legitimately read this entire trade in 2 hours just so I could go ahead and read the first issue of White Knight Presents Harley Quinn. Because we got this trade and that first issue the same day, and I was like, can I read this without having read this yet? And Kendra's like, well, not really. And I'm like, okay, that's all I need to know.
Yeah, not really, no.
And then 2 hours later, I closed this book, and I'm like, damn, that was good.
Yeah.
I'm like,
so good. I love the art. I love the writing. I love every little nuance and every little callback. The emotion, the humor, all of it is so, so good.
Yes, it is. This, honestly, the White Knight series, you know, White Knight, Curse of White Knight, and then White Knight Presents Harley Quinn, needs to be in every Batman and Harley fans collection.
Agreed.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, there's just no getting around it. I mean, it's that good. This needs to be up there on the upper echelon of like Batman titles, where they're like, "Oh, the greatest Batman titles ever written,
the greatest stories ever told."
Yeah, I mean, you know, you got your Year One, you got your Dark Knight Returns, you know, Killing Joke, Arkham Asylum,
Halloween.
Yeah, Long Halloween, Haunted Nights. This needs to be right there with those.
Yep, absolutely. It is such an engrossing tale from the first series, part of the series, the first arc, to this second arc, to Von Freeze in between. And the fact that he told a whole story, a single issue story out of one panel that came between the 7th and 8th issue of this series, like, holy crap.
Right.
Like, you know, I was not expecting the whole Von Freeze thing. And initially, I was like, oh, Von Freeze, okay, it's a part of Sean's universe. It fits between the two, or it fits in between two of these. Because, as I said earlier, I wanted to make sure that we covered it correctly, that Von Freeze is in between White Knight and Curse, the first and second arc, until you guys said it, and Sean told me himself that it actually happens between the 7th and 8th issue of Curse. I was like, oh, damn.
But, I mean, that shows you, like,
yeah,
everyone and their mom can claim that they're a fanboy or fangirl, but there's a difference between saying that and being able to recite and spit out, you know, facts and figures and all that stuff, and dates and comic numbers, and actually showing that passion, showing your understanding of characters, and not only of the characters, but Gotham herself is a character.
Oh, absolutely.
And John did absolute justice to that.
I might miss that Batwing, though.
Yeah, I know you did.
that Batwing, man, that should not have happened, but, you know, he can always build another.
Correct.
That looks just like it.
But, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I mean, yes, most of this some of these are his interpretations of you know, other areas, and some of it's homages. But I mean, he builds this world in such a way that these characters not only feel familiar, they feel like family, and it's like coming home.
Yeah. And literally, I do need a Batman Harley story now in this universe, a la WandaVision, because seriously, Joker who? Like, she may have had Joker in the past, and that may have screwed her up to where she is, but seriously, it read to me in this, with the two of them interacting between Batman and Harley, like they were healing each other.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, they need to be together.
Yeah.
Well, that, I mean, for fans that are actually partaking of everything that is being offered currently, we're technically getting our cake and eating it too, because not only do we get a Batman, you know, with Harley, but we also, with the animated series, are now getting Harley and Ivy.
Yep.
So we're kind of getting the best of both worlds.
Right.
Yep, absolutely. So, folks, that's going to do it. I think we've been here for so long. This is single-handedly the longest episode of the Pull Bag ever in 8 years.
Congratulations.
Or, before we leave, Kendra, what would you rate this 0 to 5?
That's a frickin' 10, but I know I'm not allowed to do that. 5.
Yeah. Ed, what about you?
Yeah, same. Perfect score. 5 all day.
Yeah, it's 5s all around, folks, because nothing in this took me out of wanting to read the whole thing. And as I already said, between the time of us going through the book during the podcast and before, I've technically read this thing 3 times now. So, it is what it is. But so good. Sean's art, the color shifts between scenes. So good. The writing, the story, amazing as always. Coming up next, inside the Pull Bag here, we've got episode 411. I'm down. I've got the comics 411, so we've got that, a little special discussion there. We've got Beast Wars number 4, which that and Radiant Black 5 and 6 might change. I don't know. It depends on when Beast Wars number 4 comes out in May. I'm not sure. And then in June, we have got a bunch of stuff. We've got my buddy Joe and I are going to do Batman TMNT 3 to finish off that series that we did. Donovan Morgan Grant, who you heard in his Origins episode in episode 409, will be joining me for Static Shock Volume 1 Supercharged, the first time we've reviewed Static on this show. At some point, I think Movie Revolt, Dan and I will be doing the Comic Concierge. We'll be doing Exit Stage Left, the Snagglepuss Chronicles, which I'm kind of leery about that one, but whatever. My buddy Jesse Raz will be joining me for some Power Rangers stuff. And yeah, we've got a lot of stuff coming up here inside the Pull Bag that I think everybody is going to enjoy. Where can the people find you online, Ed?
Usual places, Facebook at Edward Hale, Instagram at The Sith Rules, YouTube for gaming videos on Sith Rules Ed, Twitter at Devour All DC.
My idea.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was.
I had to confiscate that.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I wonder if anyone has a Make Mine Marvel Twitter. They probably do. Anyway.
It'd be hilarious if they don't.
I know, right? That would be so cool. What about you, Kendra? Where can people find you online?
Usually the easiest place to find me is going to be Twitter. I have 2 of them. I have at Devour All Words, and of course my newest one, courtesy of Mike, Devour All Comics.
I'm too lazy, folks. I can barely keep up with other Twitter accounts that I hold for the podcasts. I can't keep up with an All Comics one, so I just let her have it.
But, I mean, I can be found here on GCRN. I do reviews as well. I need to get on to my next one. I can be found on Dark Knight News as well as DC Comic News, Gothic Bite Magazine, and on Ladies of Horror, with myself being added on to the Cafe Macabre Volume 2, currently on Kickstarter, and I will be one of their showcase authors for their horror genre.
Very cool, very cool. How long does that Kickstarter have left?
I believe we've got about 20 days left. So there's still plenty of time, and it's already almost fully funded. Now we're just getting into the stretch goals so everybody can get in on the fun stuff.
Okay. I'm just trying to think if this episode will be out before it ends.
If not, we're already fully funded. Yay! Go buy the book anyway.
There you go. I am at TFG1Mike. You can hear all the other information in the outro. Hopefully, by this time, I will have Steve have made me a new outro for this show. Make your great escape to comics, and we will catch you next time when we give you the Comics 411. And I don't know why my arrow keys are not working. I do not like this. And of course, now I have to edit all of this. Come on, podcast. God. You shouldn't be podcasting if you can't do it right. Morons.
That's all reason to podcast.
Yeah, nothing but screw-ups. There we go. There's my... Good lord. Technical difficulties on the arrow keys trying to go through the book. Yeah, this is going to be a 4-hour show. Oh, Lord.
We're almost done now.
We're almost there.
I know.
Finally.
Home stretch. I wonder if people have listened this long. I highly doubt it. Hopefully they have, because I think we're doing a good job anyway.
Master Bruce, Miss Gordon, I heard you've discovered our little secret. Yes, I admit it. I am Batman.
All it takes is one bad day.
You've just heard the latest episode of The Pull Bag, the GCRN's first comic review and discussion podcast. There are several ways to get in touch with us and leave feedback for the show. You can visit the website, geekcastradio.com, where you can comment on the episode and all of our different podcasts. You can rate and leave a review for the show on iTunes. Be sure to leave us feedback. Become a fan of us on Facebook, facebook.com/thepullbag. Send us an email, feedback@geekcastradio.com. Follow us on Twitter @thepullbag and @geekcastradio. So until next time, make your great escape into comics and unleash the geek in you.
I'm not hearing this.